bit. Get myself into focus here. I know I look like a banshee right now, but I am ultra tired. But I still wanted to do a show with y'all, just to show love, you know, because this needs to be talked about. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me just fix a couple things here. Y'all make sure y'all join in and all that and all that. Oh my God. I look a mess right now. I know I do. It's all good though. I'll be on my what's the name today? I'm gonna be on my Nick Cannon. Now Nick Cannon was wearing the turbans. I'm gonna be on my Nick Cannon. So I first want to start somewhere, and because I'm familiar, not familiar, but I want to start somewhere first. Oh, that's a little too bright, right, y'all? That's a little too bright for y'all. All right, better. I wanted to start somewhere in the premise of this conversation because it reminds me of something before. So let me tell y'all what I'm talking about here. So I think I was maybe about 24-ish, 26-ish, somewhere around there, right? And this spot, and people that know me, they remember my little reign with this. So there was this time. Let me explain so everybody else understand. So it was this time in fashion history, right? It was this time in fashion history. I've always been a fashionable dude. Like I know it's lately sometimes y'all think y'all catch me off or whatever, then I show y'all, nah, you ain't got me off. I've always been known as a fashionable dude. Always. So and my cousin Mario was part of that, and my other cousin Early. But I always been into fashion. And so I remember when this wave hit, when everybody was wearing Abercrombie and Fitch and everybody was wearing Hollister. Everybody remember that? It was like a wave. It was a quick wave, but everybody was wearing it. Everybody was wearing Abercrombie and Fitch. Everybody was wearing Hollister. People that know me know I was one of the original people that started wearing that stuff. Like I was wearing the ripped jeans. I was wearing the Abercrombie and Fitch t-shirts. The t-shirts were like 19, 20, $30. And then at that time, thank you very much, Devon. At that time, you looked like hot shit if you was wearing this stuff, right? If you had on Abercrombie and Fitch, if you had on Hollister, you was the man. I don't give people shout outs. You don't get no shout outs here unless you donate. I don't give nobody no shout outs. Anyway, long story short, I remember everybody wearing this Abercrombie and Fitch, and I remember everybody wearing this, what's the name? And I kept wearing it and I kept wearing it. To one point, I liked Abercrombie and Fitch and I liked Hollister both as a group because they own by the same company basically. I liked both of them so much. And there was another company too. I forgot what their name was, but there's another company they have that's actually an elite over Abercrombie and Fitch. So basically, Abercrombie and Fitch was basically elite over Hollister in people's minds anyway, if that makes sense. So if you had Hollister on, it was like, okay, you look at one elk. If you had Abercrombie and Fitch on, you looked at another elk. And then if you had this other company that they own, I'll look it up in a second, you were conceived of an even higher elk. This is how it went. Maybe not in your worlds, but in that world, that's how it went. And people will recognize us this for wearing those clothing. So I used to wear a lot of Abercrombie Fitch. I think I still got some of the t-shirts and stuff like that around here. I was looking earlier because I wanted to throw a couple up on screen or whatever, but I got to really look. But Abercrombie Fitch, Hollister, I was wearing all that. And I was doing it like in my 20s and early 30s as like fashion. You'll see a lot of the rappers, they went through a little phase where maybe they might have been wearing a Hollister t-shirt. I think a lot of that inspired, like it inspired the real, that moment with people wearing that Abercrombie and Fitch and Hollister wave, it really indulged into people starting to take creativity in their looks in hip hop to me. You understand what I'm saying? A place that I'd already been before. As I mentioned before to you guys earlier, I came to Bad Boy Entertainment really looking for Groovy Lou. Because, and if you don't know who Groovy Lou is, go look him up or whatever. Groovy Lou was one of the most innovative stylists there was. Um, and still is. He's still, I saw a video, he was still in a video with Puff not too long ago, and they're down in Miami. Groovy Lou is one of the people I liked as a stylist because I was like, yo, da 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 da. And at that time, I had my ideas of starting a fashion company and everything like that. And I'm still gonna be putting out some fashion, so you'll see it come quite naturally to me. Like I'm into style and dance and music. I'm like, those are pillars for me, and it always will be for me. Well, I remember this one particular time. I went to Abercrombie and Fitch, the company, and this is what I want to segue into. This is a true story. And at that time, they were in the local mall out in my part of Connecticut, and shout out Crystal Mall. And so I went up in there, and I remember I filled out a application and everything like that. And so if they want to pick you or deal with you, they'll have you come to a little meeting. And what they did was they took us down in the mall's cafeteria at the time, and we were sitting down and we had a meeting. They would ask you all these questions. Like, y'all don't know. See, I know this because that's why I wanted to do this live, because I knew this. They would ask you all these questions. And some of the questions would be, how you doing? Some of the questions would be like direct, and then some of the questions would be like kind of odd. But when I realize now, and some of these questions they were asking, I'm not talking about this is questions they would ask you on the application. No, there was a director of the meeting that would ask you questions. You understand what I'm saying? So later on, they returned back to me and they said, "Oh, we just decided to go in another direction." That mean, AKA, we ain't fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? But it was all good because if you made it to that meeting, they were doing it off of physical appearance. That's the part I want to home in on. They were doing it out of physical appearance. Now, in those, what's the names, those pre-hiree meetings and screenings or whatever you want to call it that we had in the mall at that time, most of the people that were there, they were around my age. They were around about like, I don't know, say 17 through 32, something like that at the time or whatever. And I really just wanted it because I liked the brand so much. And a lot of people, they recognized me from wearing that brand, that and Hollister. It went back and forth between that. And then every now and then I would wear Gap stuff too. I've always, you ask anybody to know me, they're going to tell you, yo, he is one of the most innovative dressers I ever known in my life. I went through the rock phase. I still do that. And then I mixed all of them up or whatever. So what happened was, I remember that there was probably like, I don't know, maybe 14, 15 people there or whatever, but they were very, very particular on who they hired. It wasn't necessarily who looked the best. It was more so to me who had a certain type of attitude, along with looking kind of like gawky, you would consider, versus kind of looking kind of like I don't know how to explain it, kind of like gawky, Denison, but at the same time, kind of like I hate to use this word because they're using it in the wrong way, in my opinion. Demure, you know what I'm saying? Very simple, plainish, without makeup, gawky type of, you know what I'm saying? Not like that, not like that. And listen, we don't look. Let me tell somebody, people this. Let me tell people this real quick, right? This ain't no hate channel. You understand what I'm saying? I know a couple of y'all that heard a couple conversations here, and you think that's the direction I'm going, but never try to read my mind. That's not the. I don't hold up. I don't promote no hate on any specific group. All right, that's one. Two, I don't like when people come in here and say stuff like that because as quick as you to say something like that, as quick as you to call me a nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Three, I got a cousin that's in that LBGTQ culture, and she has been for a very long time. She damn near got a wife. And so I like, it would be insulting to her for me to talk that way. When I do have those conversations about LBGTQ members over there, when I do have those conversations specific to certain individuals that are vloggers, and that's the way they carry themselves. That does not mean that we're here purging on them as a whole group or insulting them or whatever the case may be. We don't do that here. Because some of the people that come over here, including 2 or 3 people that used to throw my Cash App in there, 2 or 3 people that used to always have positive vibes with them or whatever, they was part of that community. So anybody that, let me just say this, I don't care if you part of that community. I live in the New York City tri-state. We've been seeing folks from the LBGT community for fucking years. You understand what I'm saying? So if you part of that community, you welcome over here or whatever. Don't come over here no funny business just like anybody else, all right? But the point is, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody is not welcome here. You feel me? So I don't know where that messaging got out. Maybe it's partially me, the way I talk sometimes, but no. I grew up in an environment where I have multiple different ethnicities around me, more particularly Italian and Greek people. I grew up around a lot of them. You understand what I'm saying? All throughout my life, I rolled in, and when I was doing the streets with them, I was doing that with them. You know what I'm saying? So it to me, it's like I'm more pro-American. That's what I am. I don't hate any freaking body. But if it pertain to you, it pertain to you. If you a nigga, it pertain to you. If you this type of person, it pertain to you. If you an asshole like this guy we're talking about, it pertains to you. Now let's get back to the premise, ladies and gentlemen. We're not here bashing on people from over there, the LBGT community. We ain't doing all that over here. We ain't doing all that over here. And honestly and truthfully, I don't like the way you talking, so I'm gonna get you up out of here. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. If that insulted anybody, y'all got family or something like that as part of that community or yourself or whatever. Well, I don't allow people up in here rocking like that. And I gotta start checking that more. A lot of these podcasters, they be worried about followers and all that stuff or whatever, and allow their denizens of their channels to say whatever. You ain't gonna do that over here, especially if you ain't donating a dime. It's like you trying to get a free ride or something. You know what I mean? Anyway, they had a process, and that was my point. And so when I heard some of the details about Abercrombie and Fitch, and I'm pretty sure Hollister had the same detail or whatever, I always noticed that the boys that they hired, I can take my shirt off to this day and feel comfortable walking around the beach. I ain't got no fat stomach, as you can see. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no tittlings. You know what I'm saying? I can walk around the beach and feel just fine. You know what I'm saying? And so, with that being said, it's funny because I see these people are now so disconcerted because of the pure simple fact of one thing. They're upset at Diddy for one reason, but they're not upset at this guy. And this is the funny part about it. They're not just pointing out this guy, and I think a lot of people don't get that distinction. They're not just pointing out this guy as being someone, you understand what I'm saying? They're not just pointing out this guy as being someone that individually orchestrated this stuff. They're saying the company themselves orchestrated this type of stuff. You get what I'm saying? So at that point, the question I got is, if you've been investigating this dude since January, he stopped doing what he was doing. He would stop being, and really it's just he stopped being CEO in 2014. So please realize in 2014 going into 2015 is when they started investigating this guy who was an ex-CEO. And I want to say his name correctly. What's this idiot's name? Because I don't like this guy. I didn't even like the way he looks. He looks like a lion. I should have put his picture in the description box, but he looks like a old battled out lion. What is this guy's name? What is this guy's name? Mike Jeffries. Yeah, Mike Jeffries. That's his name. I don't even like putting his, I didn't even want to put his name in the title. But Mike Jeffries, we're going to talk about him. Former CEO back in 2014. They called in some, and see, it's all about language. In some language, on some people's media carry-ons, they called this guy, they said he had sex parties. He had, you know what I mean? He had sex parties. We talk about Puff. We talk about it's the freaking freak-offs. You know what I'm saying? It was terrible. There's another thing that's, listen here. And this is the reason why I just said the comment I said, because I knew what I was about to segue into it. And I have to. You know, there's been men that have been brought up in in Diddy's case, which I don't know if it's true or not true. You know what I'm saying? It seems like a lot of this stuff happened with, if it did happen, it happened around with Puff and private friends of Puff. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning they had their own little whatever, if that's a theory, okay? It definitely didn't happen with the rest of the company. You know what I'm saying? Which is obvious because everybody, I even seen Busta Rhymes get sat down today, and Busta was even like, huh? You know what I'm saying? So I say this, right? This is very different, but at the same time, it's the same thing. But the funny thing is, in this example, most of the time when you hear Puff come up, the only person you heard mention is Lil Rod is the men, right? It's the only name you ever hear. Lil Rod, Lil Rod, Lil Rod, Lil Rod. And everybody believes him as much as you and your lawyer. But when it comes to this guy, it was all about Mr. Mike Jeffries. It was all about not only men, but what he was exactly doing to men. Do y'all know what this man was doing to men? Okay. So for example, right? And this is where the things get skewered here. Now I want to emphasize once again, I'm going to talk about this once again. They started investigating this guy in 2015 after he was shortly let go as CEO in 2014, I'm assuming, because that's when his tenure came to a conclusion as CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I went at the time and I was like, I don't know, I was like maybe like 28, maybe 30, somewhere around there. And even though I was still working for Bad Boy and all that stuff or whatever, there was days like sometimes they just didn't need us. So I had an extra more. I was like, let me get some extra bread then. You know what I'm saying? So, and people out there at that end of Connecticut, I was never the person to let everybody know what I was doing. Never do. To this day, I'm not like that. Like you might think you know what's going on with me. You might think you know what's seeing with me. There's a lot of things I don't tell you. But the funny thing is, drugging them, be specific. Who you talking about? Because we talking about two different people. Hey, John Stratton, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Now, this is my question. With this guy, y'all called it in 2015, and in January, you put on a hard, thorough investigation of him. Same time, almost simultaneously as Puff, right? But sometime, for some reason or another, Puff becomes the superseding personality that goes forth first. Y'all arrest him first instead of arresting the Abercrombie and Fitch dude. Puff's thing is known as the freak-offs, as it's projected and as it's said repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly. It doesn't even have its term or the correct term of sexual assault or whatever, if that's purportedly what happened. No, what it has a term of is whatever. When they refer to this guy, what he was doing, and once I read off some of the stuff this weirdo sicko was doing, you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. But it included drug enhancing drugs injected into men's penises. It included men having to have fellatio sex with this man, Mr. Mike Jeffries, to be somehow, and that's what y'all equate to be an initiation, right? They would have to, perform fellatio on this man to see if they were good enough to perform fellatio on other potential clients or subjects or those accused. It's a list of just myriad things that are just sickening, like really sickening. They had to shave their body hair. They had to take enemas that were painful. They said you make somebody take a painful enema for what reason you think? Okay. So my point is here, these were the things that were going on. I'm gonna read that off to you. They made the men take enemas. They made these men they moved these men from state to state, and sometimes international is being reported by some agencies. They made these men inject sexual enhancement things in their penises that kept them erect for days on at a time, that almost made them motherfucking sick and discomfortable to the point where they couldn't even perform anymore, as they say. They made these men initially have to have sexual oral consultation with this same CEO, Mike Jeffries, initially before they can go and do anything else with the other reporter, whatever. You got that sinking in your head now? Now, do y'all notice if you do this in comparison to Puff and this guy, you would think that this story would have came out first before Puff's story came out first? No, it didn't. You know why it didn't? One, Puff's bigger than this guy, but this company, they bigger than Puff, reputation-wise. Abercrombie and Fitch, reputation-wise. And I'll tell you why. Because of the tradition of a certain enclave of America, and I know this enclave of America because I've lived around them, and a lot of them are here in Connecticut. As a representation of this enclave of what Abercrombie and Fitch and Hollister represent, both clothing brands that I previously wore, what happens is they put you into a certain status, and the status doesn't have to be announced. It's the same as Balenciaga and many other different name brands of clothing do to this day. They put you in a certain ilk, and that certain ilk. So you won't understand this is why you put the question mark. The certain ilk that fits in for commoners. Pay attention to me, for commoners. The certain ilk that it attracts. It's just like if you got an iPhone. It signals to many commoners you're part of a certain group. See, people that are out of the know, they won't understand this. But this has always been for. It was the same thing back in the day when you had I don't know, a certain caliber of beeper. You know, if you had a SkyTel versus a regular pager, people announce people and announce themselves through clothing brands, things they own, things like that. You understand what I'm saying? And it's tiered. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you to help me. I don't need any help. I don't need anybody to put in anything in here. I don't need your added commentary or any of that. That's the only thing I ask. Okay. So don't come in here trying to add in or whatever, because what it looks like you're doing is doing the same thing that you sat there and said that I was doing. It sounds like you're taking up from Mr. Mike Jeffries. So are you a Mike Jeffries defender? Now they try to run that Diddy defender. Are you a Mike Jeffries defender? But Puffy did this. No, this motherfucker was injecting men in their penises with fucking sexual enhancement drugs. This motherfucker had initiations that men had to suck him off in order to see if they will be compatible with other men of his clientele ilk or tier, etc., etc. This man, Mike Jeffries, motherfucking channeled in motherfuckers not only internationally as being reported, but nationally for other men. This man, Mike Jeffries, left motherfuckers there day after day after day after day, sexually abusing them. Oh, did I mention this? Mike Jeffries is abusive fucking fuck. He made these men take enemas that were painful to them later on. You understand what I'm saying? Let's get down to the guts of the guts. We ain't separating motherfuckers like this based on color, based on song genre, clothing status, or whatever. The difference is Mike Jeffries and what they're reporting synonymously now is it wasn't just Mike Jeffries. This was company culture. And what I'm telling to you is my experience is maybe the reason that that don't even go into what we're talking about right now. I'm blocking you just because I don't even go into what we're talking about. What I'm saying is right now, what I think is, as I'm looking back, because I tried to work at this company before, I'm sitting here telling you the process. Anybody that has ever went to an Abercrombie and Fitch interview, please tell me that wasn't the creepiest shit you ever went on in your life. And that's what I'm talking about. I was like 28, 31, something like that, or whatever. I literally went there because I was a admirer of the clothes. I was a admirer of, now shout out to Gene though. I was a admirer of the clothes. I wore the clothes. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, see there? And usually they would pick people. That's why I said earlier, it would be a skew of people that will be anywhere between like 17 through 32. If you go back to the beginning of what I said at the beginning of this podcast, I'm glad you came in here, Nico. 17 through 32. That was usually their age range of people they hired. You understand what I'm saying? So, and 33. I'll go as far as to say 33. It doesn't matter which, I don't give a fuck what you are. I just explained that too. We don't do that identity shit. I don't do identity politics over here. You understand? Think of me as Family Guy. You ever watch Family Guy? We make fun of every fucking body. You got it? Think of me as Family Guy. We make fun of every fucking body. I make fun of black people all the time. You know what I'm saying? All right, then cool. We don't do all that corny shit. The world, it's too many motherfuckers in New York City tri-state area. Well, I identify and call you a name based on, I'll be like, yeah, you dumb black motherfucker. Yeah, you dumb black bitch, whatever. If you say that to somebody, that doesn't mean I fucking hate the whole entire people. That means you. Fuck. Now back to the story. We don't do no hate campaigns over here. So you welcome, man. I don't give a fuck with you. I'm tall about it. Y'all stop that identity shit. I don't need to know all that about you. If you're a good person, you're a good person. You're a shitty person, you're a shitty person. It's as simple as that. All right? So you welcome in, Nico. You cool. I love your videos. Can you say happy birthday to my nephew? Happy birthday. God damn it. Anyway, back to the fact here. We don't do people doing little silly things like that. You white. No, we don't have people like that here. All right, so back to what I was saying here is there was a process, if you're 17 through 32, that was usually the aspect of people. And I've been to one of these interviews, so I'm trying to tell you. So if you just now getting here, let me explain the process. So how you doing? I filled out the application, probably like a week and a half, they called me back. So they never had a enclave of brown people in there. Now, I am gonna say that they never had an enclave of black people up in the Abercrombie and Fitch, or Latino up in the Abercrombie and Fitch, or biracial Latinos and blacks up in the Abercrombie and Fitch. I gotta say it like that. The Abercrombie and Fitch. They never had that. So they would have droplings. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a dropling of blacks and Latinos. Yeah. A dropling of black. Y'all don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so they would have droplings and little bits and pieces of people here and there, or whatever the case may be. And so it was crazy because I remember when I did get the call, which means they actually are interested in you. They interested in mostly the way you look and you appear. That is the top thing with Abercrombie and Fitch. I think Hollister tried to duplicate that. It didn't work out with them as far as the hiring process, but they always wanted to hire ultra or moderately ultra, and I'm not trying to be cocky, like attractive people. You know what I'm saying? And they had to be of a certain body type. I have a lean body type, but at the same time, my body's defined. I can take my shirt off. I've been able to take my shirt off for 30 plus years. You feel me? Like there's no, you feel me? Like there's no hesitation. Let's go swimming. All right. You know what I mean? There's no hesitation with me. I don't feel embarrassed. I ain't got no man boobs. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm Gucci. So it's like, for me, this is what I think. I think who snitched? And write it quickly. I'm blocking you. You better be very specific, real quick, Stephanie, on blocking you. So tell me who you're talking about on blocking you. So anyway, what I think happened was, I think he is taking plea deals. You don't even know what we're talking about. You're just in here talking to be talking. You know, don't worry, y'all. I'll get rid of her. Anyway, during this process of this interview, they would have anywhere from like 14 to 17 people sitting at the table that they had called in, that they looked at as potential people that could work at the company, right? And so I remember I was one of these like 14, 15 people. I was there. And what they did at our mall at the time, and people that remember and lived down that side of Connecticut, they used to do this at the Crystal Mall. So they would have us meet downstairs at the cafeteria. And we would have the meeting down there because they wouldn't have the meeting in the store. So we would go downstairs and have the meeting. This is a God is a God true story. And so I know we went downstairs and we were sitting amongst these sea of people and we were cooling or whatever. But automatically what I saw was they was very age conscientious. And like I said, I was like 28, 31. I was still young. I'm still young now, but I was young. And so I remember it was an elimination kind of with the eyes. And then there's those are possibility eyes. You know what I'm saying? I'm very good at reading people. And so I was sitting there and I knew I ended up being the person that was particularly of the people that might get an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Versus the people they already made up their mind is not a good opportunity. So those people, they would eradicate them early. They'd be like, well, we're just choosing to go in a different direction. Anytime somebody say that, that just mean, AKA, we ain't fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it means. You good, but you ain't good enough. You know what I'm saying? And so harshly as it may, they had some very harsh practices, in my opinion, as far as the process of getting hired through there. And I guarantee you, as you ask more and more people, I guarantee there'll be somebody, the doppelgangs, that will come up and they went through that process of getting interviewed by Abercrombie and Fitch, and they will tell you it is one of the most uncomfortable. Listen, I done worked all kinds of jobs before outside the bad boy thing. When things get slowed down and it wasn't an album out, I would do little odd jobs here and there, stay afloat. It was one of the most odd ass interviews I've ever been on in my life. I felt like say you was a prostitute. That's what it really felt like. It felt like you was a prostitute, but you weren't good enough looking as other prostitutes. But you still walk around and feel like a prostitute. You know what I mean? That's how I felt. I'm not gonna lie to you. And so as we sitting there, you know what I'm saying, choosing who gonna be our pimp for this. As we sit there wondering who gonna be our pimp for this month, because that's what it was when you look back and looking at it. That's really what it was. They were very selective. They were. And they made some of those girls, it wasn't the guys, it was guys and girls at the interview, but they made some of them girls very, in my personal opinion, I'd be surprised if some of them girls ain't end up on drugs after that interview. It's very, very, when I say very, very, listen, guys, we don't do that over here. This is not the channel for that. I'm not against either side, but we don't do political partnership over here. I don't do that over here. That leads to problems. Then you start getting all of them coming over here. You said free that country? No. You know what I'm saying? No. We ain't doing that. That's one thing I stay away from. Now, I know some of these girls, and I hope they start speaking up. If you ever went on an Abercrombie and Fitch interview, please make a video and contest to the public so they know I'm not lying of how uncomfortable they felt. This is one of the moments that will literally test your strength as a person, as an Abercrombie and Fitch interview. I'm trying to, and you would never think, like, the process make you feel like, and then I'm just saying to me, the process make you feel like, and if I need to run it back to you, the reason I applied at the company, because I always used to be wearing their clothes. I started out wearing Hollister. Then I graduated from Hollister and I went to Abercrombie and Fitch. And then they have another company that's over top of them, and I can't think of the name of it. But they actually have like 4 or 5 companies, but it goes Hollister, Abercrombie and Fitch, and then you graduate to there's an adult version of like Abercrombie and Fitch. You know what I'm saying? Abercrombie and Fitch is like, mid 20, 30, early 30, whatever. And then there's an adult version of the Abercrombie and Fitch stuff that they have. That's another emblem. I forgot what the name of it is, but it'll come to my mind in a minute. And because I had some of this stuff too. But and a lot of people don't know this company because they hide that company because they prefer you to go to Abercrombie and Fitch still. You know what I'm saying? For some reason or another. Bam, you got it. See, I love a motherfucker like that to know Rahul and Tilly. There you go. To be honest, my interview process wasn't that difficult. They ended up calling me back the same evening. I was shocked. See what I'm saying? But you said you were shocked, right? And it probably was different depending on each different demographic, Nico. But for me, the person that was hiring us and the questions they were asking, it was just like weird. Like it wasn't weird. It was just like very probing. You know what I'm saying? It was like they were trying to get at your psyche more so than they were trying to get at like who you were as a person. They were seeing if they could control you. And if you ever go into an Abercrombie and Fitch store, it's very dry. Like the Nico, you know about fashion. You ever been in a fucking Abercrombie Fitch store? Generally, most of the time you go in there, it's like going to a live funeral with a whole bunch of lights and flowers and shit. It's real dull. Like, what are we doing? We're just buying something and then we're leaving ish. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of vibe it gets. So it's not an exciting place, but the way they have it set up, it's beautiful when you walk in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just like, I'm dead serious. I'm trying to tell you this. The one thing they don't do, and they train not to do this, is there's not a lot of interaction. Do you need any help? Yes. And then most of the time you'll just see them walking. This is why they pick good looking people, because most of the time they just want you as a walking / mannequin / salesman. You know what I'm saying? That's really what you are. You are a mannequin / salesman. You know what I'm saying? Walking mannequin / salesman. And that's what it's supposed to be. And this is the dynamic they picked for Abercrombie and Fitch. Now, I wanted to emphasize that there's girls that work there too. And a lot of the stores that I went to, a high influx of it happened to be a lot of girls. You know what I'm saying? I will say that fairly. But in this particular case, and this is why I said, I need a lot of the LBGT community over there to take interest in this story. Because as much emphasis as a lot of these people have put into, and I hate to say it like this, as much emphasis as a lot of these people, that's hot as hell. As if, I don't know why I still had that shit on my foot, y'all. As much emphasis as they had on Puff with these allegations or whatever, I need that same emphasis put on this man, Mike Jeffries. Just because he's part of the LGBTQ community doesn't mean that he wasn't over there abusing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Is that fair, guys? Huh? This man was horrible. And I needed to be reflected when we talk about Puff or anybody else. Now I don't look right. When we talk about Puff or anybody else, we need to talk about this gentleman too, just as much the cure. I need for the next couple weeks, y'all talking about Mike Jeffries with the same emphasis y'all put in on Puff. You understand what I'm saying? This go for you, King. This go for you, Pork Chop. This go for you, what's the other one's name? Storm a Ho Ho. You understand what I'm saying? This go for all three of y'all and a couple other ones. You understand what I'm saying? The same emphasis and energy you put in on this. Look, he was over here abusing y'all's crowd. So for the sake of your crowd and your culture and your society, you should be right on target with this. The next couple of nights shouldn't be nothing but the Mike Jeffries update. The next couple of weeks shouldn't be nothing but on your channels, the Mike Jeffries update. You know why? Because Mike Jeffries was actually part of your community. Mike Jeffries also abused people part of your community. So your emphasis right now as a person part of that community is to have a night tonight. And I'm going to be watching like a hawk on a fucking mouse 16 meters out to make sure you do. And we're going to make sure to point out if you don't. If you don't, we know everything we need to know about you. Well, this is a sensationalist. This motherfucker don't care about y'all community. Now, I want to read something real quick, right? To emphasize what I'm saying here. And this is going to blow y'all mind, but it's very true. And someone told me, he said, look this up. I said, I bet you they're going to play they're going to play this little corner where they're going to say, well, let's forget about this. This was mostly male victims. Okay, if it was mostly male victims, then forget the shit that happened with Puff too that y'all allege. Listen to this. This is from USA Today. In recent weeks, new details about the Melendez brother case have gained attention. Sean Diddy Combs has been sued by a growing number of both male and female victims. And the former Abercrombie Fitch CEO, Mike Jeffries, has been charged with operating a secretive international sex trafficking scheme and procuring young men for sex. Let me underline that one more time. Procuring young men for sex. This was a motherfucker that was an abuser. Thank you. One thing that all these cases have in common, they involve males who say they were victims of sexual abuse. Let me read that for you one more time. One thing all these cases have in common, they involve males that were victims of sexual abuse, bringing to the forefront often less talked about reality of sexual assault. Yes, men can be victims too. It goes on to say, and in fact, researchers have found that 1 in 6 men are. Let me continue. Yet men face particular challenges when disclosing allegations of sexual misconduct, such as not being believed, overcoming the stigma when they come forward, especially when they are assaulted by other men. Which leads me to say this happens more oftenly than we know. Let me continue. What happens when victims come forward? That's the bold line. As these cases head to court, the deciding factor in the verdict may hinge on if the accusers are to be believed. Let me reread that for you one more again. As these cases head to court, the deciding factor the verdict may hinge on is if these accusers are to be believed. Hold on. Though the Me Too movement paved the way for victims of abuse to share their stories, those making allegations against the rich and powerful often face an uphill battle when it comes to being seen as credible. That's in part because people have specific ideas of victims look like virtuous, non-retaliatory females. The common face of a victim in these sexual allegations and cases, you're hearing right here from the courthouses themselves, you're hearing from lawyers, what they're saying is the pattern fixture and usual face of these sexual abuse cases are women, not men. Let me continue. When you already want to believe something, you need less evidence to keep believing if you're more willing to accept the evidence that is in favor of without thinking more deeply about it. Kevin Pizarro, a professor at Cornell University who studies how biases affect moral judgment, previously told USA Today. When you're presented with information that goes contrary to what you believe and then actually start thinking more deeply about it in order to counterargue. Now, that means basically you use that as an information system to basically make a complete and total analysis. And therefore, you take that analysis that you made most of the time personal and you diffuse it against the public and say, this is what I have concluded. And therefore, I say there is and will be. You understand what I'm saying? You circumnavigate this information around to a certain type of people, and they start believing the same thing too, without taking due diligence to do the actual information, due diligence to actually gather and ascertain certain information that they need privy to make that decision, and so on and so forth. Let me continue. Male victims face unique challenges. The bold header here is how society views male accusers. Male victims face unique challenges because of stereotypes around masculinity that suggest men are not victims. Men can handle it. Men always enjoy sex. The experiences of male victims are all complicated by homophobia. Let me read that to you one more time. The bold head is this: how society views male accusers, from the USA Today. Male victims face unique challenges because of stereotypes around masculinity. These suggest men are not victims, men can handle it, and men always enjoy sex. And the experiences of male victims are also complicated by homophobia, meaning they look down on these guys or whatever, because they say, well, this is the choices you made. So as a social construct that's supposed to be overwhelmed, they say in society, this kind of like racism. You know what I'm saying? They say that they're kind of like gender bias. You know what I'm saying? These things. They say this is supposed to be overcome in society, so you're not supposed to pay attention to these things. I continue. The Cole's cultural views around masculinity may also keep who has experienced sexual abuse from healing or seeking help. Experts in abuse say sexual violence against men can make them feel as though they are no longer men. Men are viewed as strong, sexual, aggressive, stoic protectors, victims that are wrongfully viewed as weak and vulnerable. Many men don't want to identify with that stereotype. They hide the abuse or deny it. They may disclose but minimize its impact. That may express their anger because they're culturally accepted, but not their sadness or grief. You understand what I'm saying here? So with all that being said, or whatever the case may be, what we're looking at is, and there's a little bit more. Let me read this last part because I don't want anybody to think I omitted anything from this conversation. Well, it's been well documented that many female victims of abuse often don't report their abusers and wait years to do so. Experts in sexual violence also suspect more men are abused than statistics indicate. For example, there needs to be for numbers to be accurate, men who have been harmed have to identify what was done to them as sexual violence. As a result, wrongly believing that they cannot experience sexual violence, many may be left unable or unwilling to name their abuse. Jim Strove, a licensed clinical social worker and executive director of Men Healing, which provides services and support to men who have been sexually assaulted or abused, previously told USA Today, men who are sexually abused often get caught in extremes. Many become overachievers. They try to do more, earn more, accumulate more, under functions that they will fail in relationships, at work, get in trouble with alcohol, drugs, and the law. If you are extreme where you're really successful or high functioning, it's like looks like what you've done is fine. Everything is okay. It didn't bother you. It didn't hurt you, he said. In the other extreme, people are getting in trouble, but nobody ever asks what happened to you. Instead, the issue is what's wrong with you. There's a system that was already put in place. What you heard me read was a lot of these men, if this man was fired in 2014, we talking almost 11 years later. 11 years later. And I'm going to read over some of the things he did. I already told you what he did, but I don't want to be, but we're talking 11 years later. Almost. It's October. And they're just now picking this guy up. Now, can you imagine all the dudes that he done did something to that are out there that ain't even said nothing? You understand what I'm saying? Now, what particularly held on to me also was these people were young. And that's why I pointed out what I said before. The average, just like Nico, I don't know if he's still in here or not, just like he said, I was 17 when I went to the interview there. Well, most of the people I saw there were like 17 through 32 that was there when I went to the interview I went to, or whatever. So it's kind of funny. Hit the like, y'all. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You got to understand that a lot of these men are being assaulted. Another part of that they fall into is being physically abused too. I'm finding this with both whether they're in the LBGTQ or they're in this heterosexual game, either or. A lot of these men are getting abused, and it goes the same for lesbian couples and as well as women and heterosexual couples. There's abuse elements there, whether they're physical, whether they're sexual, whatever the dynamic is, whether it's a prostitution thing. And that's what I said. That's going to have to be cleared up for me too, because I said yesterday, because it seems like to me, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean. It seems like this man held auditions. Mike Jeffries, he held auditions. There's a second man that's charged with him too, and I'll get into him shortly. But it seems like this man seemingly held auditions, kind of the same synonymous tone that they want to put against with Puff, that he held, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, he held auditions or whatever. The problem I have is, I know when I go, and I'm not saying I frequent them, all right, but we all go on these places to look. When I look at Backpage, or what was the other one back in the days, they canceled that one out. But you used to be able to go on Craigslist, and you would see these girls on there with ads or whatever. And the one thing that always identified stuck out to me was a girl said, "We'll travel if you cover air expenses. We'll travel if you cover hotel costs. We'll travel if you cover Uber, in-state, out-of-state." Now, I know a lot of you fellas ain't gonna do that because you want to keep your little pride or whatever and look phony or whatever. But if you ever been on any of these ads, or you're a woman, you know a broad has got an ad like this place, you know that's what they say. And don't sit here and lie. They'll even charge you up a couple of $1,000s in cases, depending on how big the girl is in demand. So say you got like a porn actress and she's well known, she's been in a lot of videos, or OnlyFans actress. Yes, they're selling vajay too. And you find her, whatever. These girls will have fans that are from everywhere. There are girls that are flying out to Dubai right now by Saudi princesses and stuff like that and getting dumped on. You understand what I'm saying? Taking a dump on their chest, whatever the case may be. This is the reality, all right? There are girls flying to Saudi Arabia to get urinated on by multiple men and getting paid $50,000, $100,000, $150,000. You don't want to hear that, but it's the truth, and they're doing it voluntarily. So all those Saudi princes and those people in Dubai, are they not sex trafficking too? We need to put them under a microscope and get them in front of the Southern District of New York as well, right? Because pretty much a lot of these girls are flying out of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. You don't believe me? Go to Backpage. I don't know what to tell you. My point is, there's a difference here in these two stories with Mike Jeffries versus Diddy. What you see with Diddy is you see a whole bunch of girls that voluntarily went over to where they went to. Is there a possibility things might have got out of hand here and there? It's a possibility. Is it a possibility some of these girls might have took it a little too far than when they took it? It's a possibility. I still think that there's a certain female, if not 2 or 3 females, that facilitated all these events or whatever the case may be, and might be the Giselle Maxwell of the hip hop bunch, but that's yet to come out, right? But that's coming out though, right? Woo! That's coming out though, right? To be continued. Where they get a load of this shit. Shh. I be knowing things, but I don't say nothing. See, they hit the Cash App up, I'll be much more vocal. But since people don't hit up Cash Apps, you'll get tidbits from me for free. But I know something you don't know. Understand? I'll say this. I know 3 things that major media don't know. Thanks for people to hear. Okay. Exactly. And the woman was what went at his job. They got paid. Man, I hear everybody, man. I hear DMX, Ja Rule, everybody, man. Now, this is New York City tri-state accent. That's all it is. I sound a little rough. I'm very articulate. I'm educated. I'm not stupid. I have a pretty good resume, I think, as far as my working experience in the music business or whatever. And sometimes I feel the point to exemplify that or whatever, but more so I like to rely on the common man. You understand what I'm saying? My father worked with what you would call common men, and my family, they come from a military background. And no matter how high you get in life or how much money you make in life, and I live by example by this, so people will tell you this. I used to take people off the middle of the street. They used to be like and I got people that will vouch for this. You know what I'm saying? I used to see people rapping and stuff like that. I'll tell you one person you can go ask right now. There's a female artist. She was on Sway in the Morning. Her name is She's Real. All right, She's Real. That's spelled SHESREAL. You can go ask her yourself. You know what I'm saying? I haven't contacted her in years. But ask her. I used to take people off the street. And I bring them up to Daddy's house studio with me. I'd be like, hey, I got a couple hours in here. And I bring them in here. Black kids, Latin kids too. I bring them up there. I took this one kid, he was from Brooklyn. His name was Retro C, I think his name was. I brought him up to the studio with me. You know what I'm saying? I wanted them to come in there and not only get the experience, but I wanted to see if they could drop some balls or do something to get some vibes going around or whatever the case may be. When I saw they didn't have nothing going on or whatever, I wanted to make sure that I kept in touch with them. How can I say it? I wanted to make sure that I kept in touch with them after. You understand what I'm saying? So shout out to She's Real, shout out to Retro C or whatever. I've been doing shit like that my whole life. The way I met my little bro, I always call him my little bro. I had brought him on fucking MTV with me. You know what I'm saying? Like these are true stories. I've always been a person to help people. So now, like as time move on, I always find it confusing where I don't get none of that back. You know what I'm saying? So of course I'll be a little upset sometimes. I'll be like, damn, all the people I done helped in my life, I done help people get in positions they never would have got into. And nobody ever reaches back and says, well, yo, I can't even get certain motherfuckers to even reach back and give me a share. You know what I'm saying? Alone. Yo, donate. I know you got bread. Donate. Give me like 1,000. Nigga, I could use that. Make some moves. You know what I'm saying? Get my feet wet. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Open a couple doors for myself. You know, a couple of these events that I want to go to. You know, you gotta spend minimum 300-400 in there. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even exist unless you spend like 300-400 in there. Y'all don't understand, but I understand. And so back to the story though. Let me get back to the story because now I'm talking personally about me. Yeah, nobody cares about me. Yeah, that's the first thing you gotta remember. And that's why I've learned now too. Stop helping people. Don't do that no more in the future. Don't that's one thing that I learned, and I want you to learn too. If you help people, and I'm telling you this to somebody that's older but younger, if you help people and you start finding out that people won't help you back when you ask them for help, stop helping people. I will never, ever have the same heart as far as helping people ever again in my life. Ever again in my life. Ever again in my life. Every time that I do it or I lift my shield from doing it, since I've been jaded from doing it, probably like in the past 7 years, I find that the exact same thing happens. So that means God's telling you, don't do that no more. You know? So, it is what it is. But don't come to me. If you come to me with anything, don't come to me without justifiably explaining why I say some of the sentiments I say about quote unquote the people. You understand what I'm saying? Don't give me that shit. Bro, why I thought you were DMX. Hey man, it's my best friend. Now I don't give people shout outs today, man. You hit the cash app, we will. Bro, I make people multimillionaires, but they don't give me nothing. I make like 20 or 30 million people rich, and they give me nothing. Only one to give me, they only give me nothing. Only one, yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, it's a known story. People are screwed up, man. That's true what you're saying. I'm sorry to hear that. They don't realize that, and I'm gonna get back to the premise. People don't realize when they do stuff like that, though. At the end of the day, it makes people more jaded to not help people. So what you do is you actually mess up things for other people and how they could have got blessed, how they could have got helped. You know what I'm saying? Like by the time I end this podcast, even though I'm talking about this, I won't have a single dime. But what you'll find is because there's so much hate for me on this internet, it's crazy. That's why I said, thank God that you can partner with Google. I would make no money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the truth. The type of stories that I have and the things that I talk about them from a personal aspect. I don't talk about nothing I don't know nothing about. Where you get some people, like those two goofballs that were in here, they'll try to recreate your story. Well, if he did that, then why he need this? Well, if he did that, why he need this? And you know what? It's simply people trying to compare their own simple lives to other people's lives, and the world doesn't work that way. If that's the case, what is Martha Stewart doing right now? She's a multimillionaire. What is she doing right now? It's with your good telepathic asses. What is Martha Stewart doing right now? Come on. What? You see what I mean? You see how silly that sounded? So what people try to do is, and they did the same thing, and they'll keep on doing the same thing. They done it with Diddy, but they won't do it with Mike Jeffries. They're not presumptuous about Mike Jeffries. They're not up and raw about Mike Jeffries. And you'll find most of the urban community is not even going to talk about Mike Jeffries, the CEO from Abercrombie and Fitch. When this piece of crap molested, I don't know, I've seen so many black bloggers that never even been to a Justin Bieber concert, probably don't even Justin Bieber album. So my poor Justin Bieber. And we all know Justin Bieber's from Canada, first of all. But no problems with Canada, but I'm just saying. Justin Bieber's from Canada. What up, what up, what up, what up? Crystal on deck. Ran to be ran, nigga. Ran to be ran. Hey, yo, Crystal. They don't believe these stories I be telling them. Listen, if y'all knew my real background, y'all know I was out there with the goons. Am I lying? I was talking about Dice in the hallway and everything. I never lived over there. That's my fam. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's over there, man. Miss Darlene. I ain't gonna say too many people, but Miss Darlene, Dude, Mean, Mel, RP2, Ben, of course. Damn, man, just everybody. Dennis, RP Mel, you know what I'm saying? Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Those are my people over there. My fondest memories will always be of those moments I spent over there. I learned so much, and people be surprised. The moment that they having, they don't understand the moment you digesting. And it's not coherent to a human, but the moment that you might be experiencing might be totally different from the other person what they experiencing. It might mean more to them. You know what I'm saying? Already, man. You already know, man. Ran to be ran. That's what they said. I got an L on the check-in. That's what's up. So anyway, moving forward, I just want y'all to have the same energy as y'all do with this puff thing when y'all be going week to 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 week. You understand what I'm saying? Day to day to day to day, the hourly upload, the hourly update. Guess what Puff did? Now, guess what this motherfucker Mike Jeffries did? What did he do? This man was out there injecting men's penises with Stay Hard. He literally had him on Stay Hard. He said, yo, come here, man, hit him again. He's still soft. He won't sit still. How do you do that? You understand what I'm saying? Listen, anything come. Listen, one time, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Y'all gonna find this funny. One time I was shaving down there, whatever. I hit myself the wrong way on a curve. I was like, oh shit. It's some excruciating pain. Pause, definitely. But it's some excruciating pain. You ever hit yourself with a nick with the razor? Like that shit. It hurt like I was like, oh shit. Well, I was in the shower. I had water running on. I'm getting alcohol shit. Where the Band-Aids? I'm hurting. You telling me this nigga was right here? Hold him down. He's still soft. Hit him again. The fuck out of here, bro. I don't know what kind of money were they paying these motherfuckers for that. You gotta pay a motherfucker a lot of money. I'd be like, yo, inject my penis with Stay Hard. That's what it basically was. It was called, I call it Stay Hard. Maybe we need to add that conundrum. Just like they added the conundrum about puffing. It's the freak on party. Nah, it was Mike Jeffries and the Stay Hard. He was literally injecting men's penises with this stuff that would keep them hard for like 3 or 4 days, some kind of like liquid Viagra. Why ain't we talking about this like we talking about the baby oil? Let's talk about the liquid Viagra that he injected in people's penises. Let's have these conversations. Oh, y'all only want to have conversations about niggas. I'm sorry. Y'all only want to have conversations when it's niggas, though, huh? Y'all want to have conversations about Mike Jeffries, this lion face looking motherfucker. This motherfucker look like a lion. Like, y'all remember that picture of that woman that had the real bad surgery? They used to call her a cat woman. She had the real bad plastic surgery. What's going on, David? She had the real bad, barely shot with shopping. She had the real bad plastic surgery. They used to call her the cat woman. That's how this motherfucker. They look like they went to the same fucking guy. And he fucked both of them up. This lion face, cat, leopard face looking mom. His face looked like a whole sheet of leather that they just pulled back. He looks horrible. Listen, if you go get plastic surgery, do small little partitions. If you do major surgery like that or whatever, it's going to show. It was like with Joan Rivers. God bless her heart. She looked horrible without that stuff. It looked like a whole cat face. You know what I'm saying? This be self. You know what I'm saying? Some people look better as they get older. You know what I'm saying? It's like it is what it is, but don't do it to the extremes like that. A little tuck, something like that. I can see that. But some people, this dude went out of his mind. Like you look at him, his whole face looks like a plastic surgery history lesson. You understand what I'm saying? I had this done in 1994. I had this done in 2003. Did I show you my oh man down in Florida? And in Florida, they get implants in their calves and their arms and biceps. Did you know that? They get pec implants, all kinds of shit. He looks like one of those guys that was a stream guy. And the reason I say that guys that look like him and dress like him, they don't dress like that and look like that and get plastic surgery like that to stay in the cold winters of New York. No, they do that to stay on South Beach. See, they don't know money like I know money. They go down there. I got that for some more. They use this for their looks in Miami. They use this for their looks in California, for their looks out in Texas and stuff like that. The sun locales, Arizona, Vegas. That's what that look is for. That look ain't for New York. It ain't for the New York tri-state area. People don't get plastic surgery like that in New York tri-state area. It's cold here. You understand what I'm saying? No. That look is for Miami, the sun, partying, Europe. That's what you get the plastic surgery for, so you look good there. When that sun hitting that plastic surgery and it's shimmering off that leather. Oh man, please go get yourself into a hospital. Oh God, let me get this one out of here. Hold on 1 second, I gotta get the weirdos out of here. You know the weirdos show up. Sound like DMX, that's crazy. You look like DMX. What's up, Karma? Ruby, what's up, How you doing? Shake Lagoon, pause. I don't know, man. Where my dogs at? X gonna give it to you. Oh, bro, appreciate you, Reese. It's how the internet is, bro. But I personally know you, so I know what it is. Thank you, family. Yeah, that's why I like people talking about me good that know me in real life versus these internet niggas. But this is somebody that know me in real life. He said it's how the internet is, bro. But I know you personally, so I know what it is. Thank you, family. Trust me. I used to be out there with the goons. If y'all know my homeboy Debo, listen. Let me tell you something about him. My homeboy Debo, I used to live in the house, so I love that boy to the bottom of my heart. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that. He like my cousin or some shit. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's funny too, cause I've been in situations. I was living in the Bronx for like 3.5 years. I left and I came to the Bronx because I had to continue on my opportunities. My thing, everybody that know me, they know, my whole thing is to be a multi-millionaire. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's just for 3 years. I'm gonna be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do some things that I say I was gonna do. And so it's funny because I be finding myself in situations where I'll be like, what would Debo do? And it works. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I have to understand he had his own tutelage with the niggas that was around him. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it's crazy by like how you get things from people and they don't know how they affect you. They don't know how they carving you too. It's like, it's hard to explain, but that's one thing that nigga gave me. Don't be scared of no fucking body. You understand what I'm saying? And under nothing, nigga. Don't ever be scared. You know what I'm saying? You might as well fold right there if you're gonna be scared. And that's what he taught me. And based off that tutelage, man, I can run through the Bronx, Harlem, or whatever, and I'm respected over them boroughs. Like I'm respected, like really respected. Not like the ain't can't nothing happen, but I mean like I can walk through there a certain time of night where other niggas can't do that. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't know nobody over here, don't come over here. You know what I mean? So I respect the shout my. That's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna talk too much, but shout my nigga Debo for that, and just everybody over at the Ave over there, Crystal. I love y'all to bottom of my heart, man. Cause for real, cause And y'all never forgotten. As y'all see, that's why I hit y'all motherfuckers up all the time. Y'all never forgotten. Just came on the liquor Viagra. What we talking about? I ain't no OG, nigga. OG 60 something. Your mama just had you when you was 13, 14. Don't worry about it, boy. A lot of y'all confused. But I ain't your OG. You know what I'm saying? OG 60 something. When I'm 60 something, y'all call me OG. I ain't got no problem with young G. I can live with that. I'm more so your older brother than I am your OG. All right, don't get that shit crazy. Usually I block niggas for that OG and unk shit, but I'm gonna let you spill. Anyway, listen. We're talking about this guy named Mike Jeffries, right? Mike Jeffries, this motherfucker. He literally was shooting liquid Viagra in men's penises before he assaulted them. He was literally making men audition by performing fellatio on him to make sure the prostitutes were right for the price. You understand what I'm saying? He was making sure the prostitutes were right for the price. Y'all use that for me, all right? Let's make sure the prostitutes is right for the price. You understand what I'm saying? You charging $300 for this nigga for what? This shit is fucked up. And more people ain't talking about this because it's men that were being assaulted. But listen, all you gotta do is throw one superstar in here that he assaulted, and now everybody gonna want to talk about it. Ain't that sad? And it goes back to what I was saying yesterday. If we're going to have these conversations about sexual assault and everything like that or whatever, y'all do realize that it's not just superstars or people involved around superstars to get sexually assaulted on a yearly basis, right? You do realize, right, in reality that this happens to women all the time, whether there's a superstar involved, a superstar not involved, and it also happens to men evidently at a high number. That's why I finished reading off that article, which I'll reread again for y'all in a minute. But it's sad to see that this man was going as far as making these men take enemas before he prostituted them and slutted them into doing whatever. And what's even more damaging is they're not saying this was just a practice of him personally. They're saying this was the practices of the fucking company. That's why I mentioned earlier that interview that I went to back in the days for Abercrombie and Fitch. And if you want to test me, just look it up. You'll see that I filled it out. They keep all their applications. They never throw their applications away. They literally keep all the applications on file, so you'll never miss it, right? So with that being said, it's like crazy to me. I had a guy came in here earlier named Nico. I don't know if he's still in here or not. He might have taken off. He made mention, he said he was part of the LBG community and everything like that. I don't give a fuck what you're part of. I don't give a shit about that. I really don't. Because if you knew people, I don't give a shit. I don't. I just hate when people come in here, they have to announce that shit. That more bothers me than you actually being part of that community. Like, don't come into me, and I'm gay. I don't give a fuck. What makes you think automatically I care? You know what I'm saying? I don't care. But Evan Besame, he came in and he cooped on and he said, yo, listen, I went to one of those, what's the names too, and I was like 17 at the time. And I was listening to him, and that's the first thing that resonated from my mom, because before he even came on, I said the people that usually were at those, what's the name, are between 17 and 32 years old. I swear to God to you. I for real thought this was DMX. He even sounds like, yo, y'all got to start with that DMX shit. If y'all gonna call me DMX, make sure everybody that call me DMX, make sure you donate $5 when you call me DMX. Because if I had a $5 for every time somebody called me DMX, I swear to God, I wouldn't have asked y'all for a cash app. You know what I'm saying? For real. All right, Robert Chow. You better make sure the next thing you write, though, is some thespian Mark Twain shit, though, all right? Okay. Well, it better be something about me. You understand? Now, I ain't drinking no chocolate milk, my friend. This is espresso, and this is with Belgian creamer, sugar, and a little bit of nutmeg and espresso. That's what this is. This ain't no chocolate milk. Well, I look like I'm fucking 14. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say some chocolate milk. No, don't get your ass out of here. Some chocolate milk. Fuck, I look like eating some chocolate. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say some chocolate milk. Anyway, I'm drinking espresso and motherfucking listening. No, and you will never find out if I did. Get him the fuck out of here. Don't come here and ask me why I vote for who. I don't do that talk. We're talking about Mike Jeffries. That's what we're talking about. Quit trying to circumnavigate the conversation. And like I said, once again, I think it's mighty funny. Yeah, some of them were, I believe so. I haven't heard every last one named Mega. What is your name? Mahagna? I haven't heard every last one, Mahagna. I haven't heard every last one mentioned, but I do believe there's going to be some young victims pretty soon. I think there's not only going to be some young victims, I think it's going to be many of victims that speak out and talk about what they're talking about. But this is the details so far about the prostitution, the enemas, the forcage of the stay hard. Shit him still. He's still soft. Hit him again. You know, I ain't trying to make fun of him, but that's just in my mind. I'm like, yo, why do you inject somebody in? I told everybody this earlier. I cut myself shaving down there before, nicked myself. And I was like, oh shit. And then for the next 3 days, it is no pain in the world in getting nicked with a razor down below, whatever. I know some of you ladies know. Y'all shave your vajay and everything like that. No funny stuff. But you shave your vajay quite oftenly. So I know you catch a nick. Do that shit hurt or not? And that pain, because I don't do it that frequently, but that pain, it's like that pain that you feel from that shit is everlasting. And when I say everlasting, I mean ever fucking lasting. Like it lasts for like the next couple of days. So it was hard for me to picture how they sat man down and actually injected them with this motherfucker don't even understand what we talking about. Get the fuck up on out of here. You ain't part of the conversation. Anybody say some dumb shit like that, you ain't part of the conversation. We have like 2 or 3 vloggers that have their participants come in here and they try to circumnavigate the conversation. Is this a Diddy party or are we talking about the examining the facts? It sounds like we got some Mike Jeffrey defenders. That's what we're gonna start calling people. Them people that want us to stop talking about Diddy and us to stop talking about Mike Jeffries, the CEO, former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, and especially them people of color, and they want us to go back to Diddy. From now on, y'all supporters of Mike Jeffries, y'all Jeffrey defenders, all right? That's what we're going to title them. They Jeffrey defenders, all right? Because what you're saying to the world is basically it's okay to sexually assault men, but women, there's a definite definition should be put upon that. And if aren't that fact, I say that you're a misandrist. These men need to be thoroughly motherfucking represented, just like the same enthusiasm that y'all put into this person. And then even more so, let me tell you about this part right here. What's going on, B? Let me tell you the funny part about it is, and this is where the women come into play. My only question is, why did the white guy get bail and Daddy didn't? That's another thing we're gonna talk about. I was gonna get to it, B. Thank you, Jay. I'm gonna get to it, family. I've been here. Like, it's only certain people in here that gonna understand what I'm talking about. That's why I said my voice ain't for everybody. My voice ain't for everybody. And I only speak on things. I'm not like one of the people that shift just based on the subject we talking about. I wouldn't even have talked about the subject if I had never been on an Abercrombie and Fitch interview before. You understand what I'm saying? And then I had another man come in here by the name of Nico. I don't know where he disappeared to. I wish he would come back. Nico, if you hear this, come back, bro. Nico, he was sitting up there and he was giving his testimony. And before he even came in, I said, well, yo, listen, man, I was 17. He said I was 17 when I went there. And then he added in he was LBGTQ. But it kind of mattered in the conversation now that I reflect on it. And I told him at the time, I said, I don't care what you are. But it kind of mattered at the time because what he was trying to convey to me was, hey, listen, man, you know what I'm saying? No, we don't do none of that over here, bro. You can go on about your business, all right? You can go on about your business. This kid, I don't play that. Nah. See, that's the thing right there. And that's why I got rid of that person right there that said pause. The kid was part of LBGTQ, so fuck what? These are people that are assaulted. That's the point. I don't give a fuck if he sexually related to a panda bear. The point is, these are people that were sexually assaulted underneath that thing. So why ain't the same empathy put towards them because they men as it is put towards everybody else? When y'all want to sit around and paddle and parade little rod around on your fucking shoulders like he's some champion and him and his lawyer lying. You understand what I'm saying? Or at the very least, you hindered information until it wasn't motherfucking effective enough for you to hinder that information anymore. So now you want to cash out. But what you found out is you can't cash out and ain't nobody hire you no more, have they? And I told you that. You remember when I did that live and I said, yo, homie, nobody's going to ever fuck with you again. Not because they don't believe you, because they don't want you around because you look like a tattleteller. Nobody going to fuck with you. So Why isn't the same enthusiasm not being put forward towards these men? And what I'm saying even more so is, I think it's the responsibility, and a lot of these women frequent these men that are LBG. I mean, they this is their banner, their flag, whatever. I'm talking about the King. I'm talking about Pork Chop. I'm talking about Storm McHo-Ho. I'm talking about a list of other motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That are over there in that stratosphere that ain't giving the same attention to this story as they are to every other story. And more so, if anything, I want to undermine and underline is this. Why did this motherfucker get bailed? Why wasn't his story and why wasn't his story exactly, Morgan? Why wasn't his story? Listen, this is what y'all ain't paying attention to details. Y'all paying attention to y'all fucking feelings. This is what I've been trying to tell y'all from the get-go. Maybe some shit is true about Puff. I don't know. I'll let the courts decide that. They do that. I'm not adjudicator. But what I do know is every time there's some statements of the facts, there's also some statements of falsehood. Every time there's some statements of people coming out saying I was abused, there's more statements of people coming out and say you're a fucking liar. And I'm telling you with this one right here, it looks more so like Mr. Mike Jeffries was open under the directives of a fucking company, because this same abuse continued on after Mike Jeffries was gone in 2014. That was 11 years ago, you slow motherfuckers. And they put this man out, they put Puff out in front of him. As Puff is related to with these actions, it's called the freak offs. When it's reported with Mr. Jeffries, it's called sexual acts. This nigga was over there making men take enemas. He was over there having men motherfucking audition with him and give him fellatio. You understand what I'm saying? So they could see if they was worth the price for the rest of the clients they would potentially be served out to. So what the federal government, I believe, knew in the Eastern District, which is different than the Southern District, that can what's the name that has now currently Diddy on his charges. The Eastern District, which is I believe that's Long Island, Staten Island, all that stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? Which is very similar to where I live at. They were the ones that brought him up on charges. So he was out in the outer boroughs. These are not even, you got to catch a fucking ferry to go out there. You understand what I'm saying? So I may or may not get myself involved in that and cover this in its totality or whatever. I got to make a few phone calls because I'm not known over there. You know what I'm saying? So I got to make a few phone calls before I do that. You can't just pop out at these places. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they let it go 1 or 2 times, but they see sooner or later these questions going to come up. You know what I mean? Where it's going to? What you doing? How you doing? You didn't, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to answer that. And if you ain't answer correctly, going to ask you to get the out the way. I can. So, if I do, you may see a shot from me or something like that or whatever. Just look out for it. But are we less concerned because all his victims were men? And I'm asking, where are the women that like the vloggers, like, the King and Pork Chop and Storm McHo-Ho and all these other bloggers or whatever that fit that community? Where y'all at on this? Because y'all represent them communities here on the YouTube community, am I right? Or is it all an act? Is it all an act? Because it's starting to look like an act from some of y'all. Look like an act. You know what I'm saying? Like, you use that to get cash apps and shit and fit in a certain demographic. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm asking the question of this. I'm going to watch these vloggers, and I want to see for the next couple of days what the fuck they come up with. And do they have the same veracity? Do they have the same tenacity to go after this man, Mike Jeffries, as they did everybody else? Because it seems like this directly affect your community. Now, as a representative of your community, I might have to start, as a representative of that community, I might have to start having some of these people put under investigation. You understand what I'm saying? Because what I think is you using those communities as a way to pillar yourself out further, and you really don't care. And who you really need to look at too, really, is the females that watch y'all. Y'all was so fucking vivid on Puffy and Puffy this and Puffy that and Puffy this. Where's your vividness here on Mark Jeffries? Where's his nickname? Huh? Catman, Catman, Catman. This motherfucker look like a cat from all that fucking plastic surgery. He looks horrible. And he can't take it back. Oh, you can't take plastic surgery back. That's just for life. Oh, man. Let's talk a little bit more about this Mike Jeffries, because since everybody else won't, I will. So I'm gonna give you guys just a basic, you know what I'm saying, a basic overhaul of what's going on here, whatever, if you're not familiar. Mike Jeffries, the former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, has been arrested on sex trafficking and interstate prostitution charges. Prosecutors announced on Tuesday. Jeffries was arrested in West Palm Beach, Florida. Then what I just told y'all earlier, I said people don't get plastic surgery. What did I just tell you? People don't get plastic surgery for the New York City tri-state. People get plastic surgery for Florida. Jeffries was arrested. Y'all don't know money. You think you know money, but you don't know money. Jeffries was arrested in West Palm Beach, Florida. Two associates, Matthew Smith of West Palm Beach and James Jacobson of Wisconsin, were also arrested in connection with the sex trafficking charges. Jeffrey Smith made their initial court appearance in West Palm Beach on Tuesday afternoon. And this may be the reason why they may have gotten free, because they were initially arrested in West Palm Beach. Jeffrey is a controversial CEO of the popular clothing brand from 1992 to 2014. So he spent over 12 years at the company. No, actually, it's more than that. He spent almost 20-something years at the company as a CEO. Was released on a $10 million bond a day later. This motherfucker had a $10 million to spend on a bond. Morgan thought DMX died and came back after 3 days. He played. So okay, let's get rid of this guy right here. This guy, yeah, you don't be tagging me or nothing. I don't even know you. you ain't here talk. Yeah, don't talk to him, Morgan. When you see people like that, this make me aware so I can block him. Okay, thank you. Because yeah, there's a lot of sociopaths or psychopaths that come over here. Yeah, he called me a clone. Am I saying who's a clone? Oh, that guy up there? Oh, I got rid of him. He says I'm DMX's clone. You think I'm gonna sit here and listen to somebody like that? Somebody like that's got drugs on him. Anyway, listen. Jeffrey was a controversial CEO of a popular clothing brand from 1992 to 2014, was released on $10 million bond later in that day. U.S. Magistrate Judge Bruce E. Reinhardt ordered that he be confined to his home and detention and GPS monitoring, and that he cannot travel without approval and must surrender his passport. What's going on, Rich? That sound familiar? Let me read that last bit back for you one more again. He was released on $10 million bond. Puff offered up 50. The magistrate judge, Bruce E. Reinhardt, ordered that he be confined to his home. Puff said, I'll stay in my home. No. GPS monitoring. Puff agreed to GPS monitoring. No. And that he could not travel without approval and must surrender his passport. Puff wanted to give up his passport and everybody else's. Y'all not following this here? Y'all not following this here? This motherfucker was out in the day on 10 million. Y'all still taking up for, okay, y'all hear the Mike Jeffrey. This is the Mike Jeffrey defenders, y'all. That's what we calling them. If you can't stand up on that part right there, just for the culture, you a Mike Jeffries defender. So anybody that didn't say nothing or left out the what's the name, that's a Mike Jeffries defender. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we're gonna start calling them. This motherfucker right here that look like, listen, look at this motherfucker. Look at this motherfucker. What the fuck was you thinking the third time you went there? The third time you went there, you should have known they was fucking you up. The third time you went there, you should have known they was fucking you up. Look at this motherfucker. This cat face looking motherfucker. This nigga look like they dug him up, put some paint on him, and reanimated him. Look at him. Even the mother can't even his own mother don't even recognize him no more. What is that? And I think it's the lips and the eyebrow lift. That's the thing that fucks it all up. He went too extreme with the eyebrow lift. You should have kept the forehead natural, but you went with see that little points right there at his eyes, see where he's got the cartilage right there at the eyes. White men try to lift that up because their skin is thinner. That's what I just said, David. White people in general, and this is not no shot at white people. This is the way your collagen is in your skin, so this is more DNA based than anything. They don't have high rates of melanin. They have melanin, but they don't have high rates of melanin. So when they go and they get plastic surgery like this, it usually lifts up. They try to lift up the brow area first, and then the other part they try to get is what a lot of people call the turkey neck. So they'll get a lift right here, and it's pinched at the neck right here, and it just lift up the tissue or whatever the case may be. Another procedure they'll do is they'll get the collagen of the lips real strong. That's why you see his bottom lip, it looks heavily more pronounced than his upper lip. His upper lip is actually his natural lip, and the bottom lip is where he's used fillers. You understand? There's also seems to be some hair work done right there, as you can see by the hairline on the far right-hand side where it goes down. It seems like he had his hair redone. So this man's had extensive surgery. And as you can see by the couple under his what's the name, where his earlobe is right there, you'll see, I guarantee you there's an incision right there where they lift it up, where they lift it up so he can take care of the chunk in there. It's not jokes, it's the truth. I was in the music industry for 17 years. You think I ain't never seen a dude or a chick with fucking plastic surgery? Are you kidding me? I've been around I don't know who you think I am or what the fuck I've been doing for all my life, but I'm trying to tell you, it's not, was he accused? Was he accused? Was he accused? Did you really just write that in my shit? Was he accused? He looks like a fucking wax figure. That's exactly what. Look at this motherfucker. Was he accused? He was arrested. He's out on $10 million bail. He's at home with a fucking what's the name? This guy's all right. This is the new face right here. This is the motherfucker y'all should be pointing to, Puff. Because excuse me, not Puff. This guy, Mike Jeffries. Because the way I look at it is like this. Yeah, and Puff may have did some of them things. He might have had some freaky shit going on or whatever the case may be. But it seems like to me, y'all gonna find the story out a little bit. Y'all gonna be real surprised when y'all find the story out, because it's gonna be 3 motherfuckers that y'all never thought would be questioned about some shit. They're gonna be questioned about some shit. So ladies, be prepared. Remember, what was your part in this? You seemingly just want to walk away, huh? Nah, it don't work like that. You was around for all these years. So what was your part in this? You mean you just sat around for years after years after years after years, just getting pounced on and fucked, tussed around with, it wasn't no incentive out of that for you, right? You had nothing to do with none of this, right? And it goes for the rest of you other chicks too. So you better get your story together. I'm giving you a warning. All right. Smith is the same courtroom, submitted to detention. Oh, let me read this, continue to read this. Jeffrey was a controversial CEO of the popular clothing brand from 1992 to 2014, which meaning Abercrombie and Fitch, was released on $10 million bail a day later. U.S. Magistrate Judge Bruce E. Reinhardt ordered that he be confined to the home detention with GPS monitoring. He could not travel without approval and must surrender his passport. Smith, in the same courtroom, submitted to detention until the matter is heard by the New York State New York State. So I'm trying to figure out something. I guess one of the guys, he's gonna have to come back to New York, and so at the conference in New York, yeah. So I guess he's gonna have to come back. One of the guys that was arrested out of the 3, he's gonna have to come back to New York. So Jacobson was scheduled to be appear in federal court. Okay, so ISA would. Oh, okay. I got it. So yeah, that guy, they were all arraigned in Florida. All of them were arraigned in Florida. Okay, you guys got it. Jeffries, Smith, Jacobson each can face a single count of sex trafficking, as well as 15 counts of interstate prostitution tied to 15 alleged victims. Wow, 15. That's a lot of victims. All right, and that's just what they got so far. It's probably going to be more. In court Tuesday, Jeffries, wearing a blue polo shirt and white shorts, was shackled in a jury box as he conferred with his attorney, Brian H. Bieber. A federal indictment alleges Jeffries, along with Smith, his romantic partner, and Jacobson, were all described as a recruiter, operated an international. I heard what I told y'all earlier. International, okay? So this is on them terms we talking about with Puff. Y'all all projecting and everything like that. This is international too. So if it's international, y'all think it's just 15 victims? No, this was a huge company, and they're saying this is the practices of the company versus the practices of these individuals. These individuals were spearheaded as recruiters, meaning they were out there and they pounced upon these boys. Now, if you were just now getting here in my podcast, I told everybody earlier about when I had filled out an application for Abercrombie and Fitch. I got called to the interview. You understand what I'm saying? And they had the interview at that time in our mall. And so at that time, it was probably like 14 to 15 people, whatever the case may be. This is a true God-is story, and they keep all our applications on file so you can look it up. They don't never get rid of those. So anyway, long story short, we turn around. I don't pay attention. Let me just finish this real quick. I don't pay attention to what Jaguar says. Jaguar's not on my radar because anytime I hear Jaguar say certain shit, I always have a tendency to be like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Not shut the fuck up like I'm commanding you to shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up because you're going to say the wrong thing. It's going to lead you into something. So I give her little warnings here and there. If I hear certain things she says, I say, shut the fuck up on this or stop talking to the riff-raff or whatever, whatever. One of the biggest mistakes I saw her do, and I hope she talks out about this shit too. One of the biggest mistakes I saw her do was she went from Piers Morgan to going back to talk to the riffraff. And I said, bitch, don't go back and talk to the riffraff. No, now the riffraff pays. This is what you wanted. You understand what I'm saying? Right then, when she finished doing the interview with Piers Morgan, bitch, the price just went up. She should have got on the Fat Joe shit. Bitch, yesterday's price ain't today's price. And that's what that that's what her should have told her too. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't got no hate with him. But nigga, wake up. You should have told her how to make. Now, we don't talk to them no more. We don't talk to them no more. I'm going to say this. Bitch, remember you a superstar. Stop hodling and coddling with the motherfucking riffraff. That's what the problem was in the first place. Stop hodling and canoodling with the riffraff. You stop hodling and canoodling with the riffraff, you be all right. That's what I got to say about that. Other than that, what else fuck she said shit. I got time to be talking my Jaguar every fucking 5 minutes. Your mama's from Timu. You understand what I'm saying? And she arrived broke. All right. Do you have a pic of what your body looked like if you applied for a job at that? Nigga, I showed what my body looked like over here on motherfucking camera. Nigga, I ain't never been out of shape, nigga. I ain't got no titties, nigga. I ain't got no stomach, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. And you a punk motherfucker for asking me some shit like that, you punk bitch. You understand what I'm saying? Your mama ugly too. The fuck this nigga talking about? Oh my God, you look like DMX. What's up with Abercrombie and Fitch? We reading it, Mark. Just sit here and listen. Thank you very much. I was just on here early and showing my body, nigga. I don't never be out of shape, nigga. I don't miss doing push-ups. I don't miss doing sit-ups, and I'm very active. I'm not some fat fuck that sits in the car all day, hubbed up like this, eating fucking hamburgers and shit. I'm not some fat fuck that sits around the house all day. What we gonna make to eat now? I eat very healthy. Most of my diet is vegan. That's why I look the way I look. I turned vegan. I do partial vegan. I did partial vegan for the past, I don't know, maybe 5 years. What really got me into it was the what the fuck is that shit? The pandemic shit. During the pandemic, I started paying attention to shit that I was eating and shit like that. And I said, and I wasn't really in a position where I could cook all the time. You understand? So I started going towards vegan shit where it was like, I'd always ate lentils because my ex, she was Muslim. So I always ate lentils. I love lentils. What else did I start eating? I started eating a lot of juniper fruit. I started eating a lot of vegetables. And the most important thing that I always keep in my diet is peanut butter. Always eat peanut butter. If you can't get near any meat, only thing you got to do is take a minimum of three tablespoons of peanut butter. You'll have all the protein you need for the next 2 days, and it'll keep you highly energetic. And trust me when I tell you this, when it breaks down, it may slow you down at first because the protein excerpts are hitting you so hard, but later on, it will stay so much in your circulation, it'll keep you going. That's a corny nigga. Not sure why I got here, never seen you before, but you funny as hell. But thank you very much, I appreciate it. Let's get this one out of here too. Yeah, dentures are my I said dentures. I was reading what that dumbass said. Lentils are my shit, for real. Lentils are my shit. I just reading some of this weird shit people be writing in here. It'd be weird, bro. Yeah, it's a lot of fake people that come up in here. So I just be having to monitor who come up in here because a lot of these people be weird as hell. Like some of these people, I'm dead serious. Some of these people should be locked up. Like serious, they need to be. I don't mean locked up. I mean like locked up in a mental facility. Like if your mind at any time contrives that you should write certain shit, like I don't do that. I don't go to people's chat rooms, fucking with them or anything like that. But if your mind says to you, yo, every time you see somebody go live, let me send my people in them over there, whatever, that means you trying to harbor something. And it seems like most people that do that, they trying to do that to point out that to avoid the people from their own guilt. Now let me continue with the story here. Let me pick it up from here. In court Tuesday, Jeffries, wearing a blue polo shirt and white shorts, was shackled to the jury box as he conferred with his attorney, Brian H. Bieber. A federal indictment alleges Jeffries, along with Smith, his romantic partner, and Jacobson, were described as a recruiter, operated an international sex trafficking and prostitution business from 2008 to 2015. It alleges they organized sex events in England, France, Italy, Morocco, St. Bart's, New York City, and the Hamptons, which is literally right around the corner from me. And I do mean that. East Hampton and West Hampton is literally minutes from here. I can get there in minutes. They employed conceived, fraudulent, deceptive, They employed coercive, fraudulent, and deceptive tactics in connection with recruitment, hiring, transportation, obtaining, maintaining, solicitation, and payment of men engaged in commercial sex. The men attended to these events were led to believe that they would lead to modeling opportunities. That's another thing that I want to emphasize right here. You understand what I'm saying? Stop saying hurtful things here. Who's saying something hurtful here? Oh, let me get him out of here. Yeah, the trolling is corny. Like, the trolling is to the point where it's just like it's not even funny. You know what I'm saying? It's just funny to me. Trolls the trolls are usually the broke ones. The trolls are usually the broke ones, are the ones that don't get many people in their lives. So the way I tell y'all can pay them all back, they come in here. The trolls really come in here because they're sent in here by a couple of vloggers. Let me just say this, then we're gonna get back to the diatribe. And so the best way y'all could do that is by hitting my Cash App right there. That will really make them mad. The reason they keep coming back because they think it's funny that they see all these people in here, they see all these likes and everything like that, the shares and everything like that, and evidently y'all interacting with me, but nobody's donating. So they find that aspect of it funny. So you know what I'm saying? If y'all just home in, come together, hit that Cash App up or whatever the case may be, it would stop the fucking trolling. It really would, because then they wouldn't have nothing to hate on. They couldn't hate on the fact of the numbers. They couldn't hate on the amount of people in the chat. They couldn't hate on the amount of likes, but it's up to y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I continue the story. But it's just funny to me, y'all out here and ready to donate to these motherfuckers talking about Puff, but won't donate it down to me talking about this callous white man and his callous friends that were out here abusing men. And I find that very odd to me. It's like you almost got a pre-section on. We're going to focus on attacking black men and Latin men, but we won't put no pre-emphasis on attacking this cocksucker. You understand? And there was a time when everybody, that's why I came in. If you go back to the beginning of the podcast, I came in and I said, there was a time when I was wearing Abercrombie and Fitch and Hollister heavy. I was one of the first people that was wearing that shit, and people remember that, and they thought I was odd for wearing it. I was like, nah, I kind of grew up like in this type of style. But for people that were urban, I used to go to the projects wearing that shit. You know what I'm saying? I literally used to go hang out in the projects wearing that shit. And people was like, yo, son, what the fuck you got on? Then you notice everybody else started wearing it. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, if anybody ever does a movie about DMX's life, I'm your guy. Because everybody in his side look like DMX. So come get me to play him. You understand what I'm saying? Let's get you up out of here. You sound like a weirdo. All right, back to this. Now I'm talking about the white boy. Excuse me, not the white boy like that, but I'm talking about this white man and the nigga in there. Diddy. No, it's Diddy. No, we're going to talk about Diddy, not Mark Jeffries. We're going to talk about Diddy. Watch a motherfucker like that. I keep trying to tell y'all, as this Diddy thing keeps going on, y'all going to start seeing that some of these people y'all here talking now, they really coons. They was always coons. They was always against the culture. The only reason they riding the wave right now, making it seem like they with the culture, but if you go back and you look at their works, you're going to see they was never with the culture. You go back and look at my works, you're going to see my works were consistent with the culture. And why I ultimately ended up being like, well, F this shit, because the culture ain't supporting me, but they supporting these Fruit Loop motherfuckers. Now notice niggas is still trying to come in here and talk about Diddy. No, we're talking about Mark Jeffries and his homies that got arrested for messing with little boys. But nobody want to talk about that. Niggas want to sit around, look at it. Even God was like, yo, boy, calm down. Everybody want to talk about that, but don't want to talk about the real. The real is this nigga was running around abusing men. Let's talk about it. We yapping about your mother. We talking about how the hell could she take all those D's in her ass? I'm sorry, man. You know what I'm saying? And tell her to stop yapping every time she motherfucker go to the Jeffrey parties, okay? That's all we want. You know what I'm saying? Bitch ass nigga. Like, anybody come in here with that yapping shit, they part of white, they don't even know what they're saying. They just copying. A lot of urban people are basically like parrots. They hear something, they want to start repeating it. So they'll parrot anything they hear, just like the freak offs. Everybody started parroting it. You don't even have your own minds anymore. That's why I told you most of you are just like people that are actually in the Matrix. And it was a black woman that woke the Matrix, right? Y'all do know that, right? The Matrix was written by a black woman. Did you not know that? It wasn't originally done by the Wachowski brothers. The Wachowski brothers iterated off her writings, which is well known. She's even credited for it. You understand what I'm saying? But it was a black woman that wrote The Matrix. So if you guys didn't know that, wake the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? In court Tuesday, Jeffrey was wearing a blue polo shirt and a white shirt and was shackled to a jury box as he conferred with his attorney, Brian H. Bieber. The federal indictment alleges Jeffries, along with Smith, his romantic partner, and Jacobson, was described as a recruiter, operated an international sex trafficking and prostitution business from 2008 to 2015. It alleges they organized sex events in England, France, Italy, Morocco, St. Bart's, New York City, and the Hamptons for Jeffrey Smith and others. They employed cohesive, fraudulent, deceptive tactics in connection with recruitment, hiring, transportation, obtaining, maintaining, solicitation, and payment of men to engage in commercial sex. The men who attended these events were led to believe that it could have led to modeling opportunities to help their careers. That's not complying with requests for certain acts during sex events that can harm their careers, the indictment alleges. The youngest of the alleged victims was 19 years old. Remember I said earlier, most of the people I saw, they were between the ages of 17 and 32. They said this is the youngest victim. That means there were older ones. Okay? Pay attention to what I'm saying. There were older ones. Many of the victims, at least one who was as young as 19 years old, were financially vulnerable, aspired to become models in the fashion industry, usually between 17 and 32 for men. Indeed, with some of the men they had recruited had previously worked at Abercrombie Fitch stores or modeled for Abercrombie. See what I told you earlier? I said most of the people in there, that's what you were. And I wish the guy Nico was here earlier because he knows what I'm talking about. You had to go in there and purchase things out of Abercrombie and Fitch to know the vibes in there. When you go in there, it's not like regular stores where they'll come up to you and they'll keep bothering you and ask you questions. Do you want this size? What are you looking for? But they don't do that in there. What you'll have some person that's uber pretty, has certain features that stick out, has a certain look, and they'll come up to you. See, somebody wrote facts. They'll come up to you and they'll be like, do you need help with anything? Nah. And basically the only thing they are is a walking model slash a salesperson. That's all they are. So they're more looking for your face than they are looking for your sales shit. The shit is selling itself. That's why it's priced at the price points it is. A t-shirt, you go in there, you get a t-shirt. I used to pay like $59 for a t-shirt. I wasn't paying $59 for the t-shirt. I was paying $59 for the fucking sign on the t-shirt. You understand what I'm saying? Because the sign on the t-shirt, Abercrombie and Fitch, gets you fit into certain social circles, or it's almost like a certain status point. And a lot of people act like they don't understand what I'm talking about. It's like the difference between having a fucking what was that? An Obama phone versus having an iPhone. You pull out the Obama phone in front of anybody, people gonna put you in a certain category. You pull out the iPhone, and depending on what model it is, if it's the iPhone 16 nowadays, they're gonna turn around, they're gonna say, oh shit, he getting the money. You understand what I'm saying? So it's as simple as that. You act like y'all don't understand what I'm talking about. So yes, there was a tier point from wearing Abercrombie and Fitch across board lines. If you wore this shit or you wore Hollister or whatever, and you looked a certain way, I want to emphasize that. You looked a certain way. And I don't say this without insulting people. Some people think they look a certain way in their mind or whatever, but your DNA strand says different. That's all I'm gonna say. And that goes for everybody. Black, white, polka dot, whatever the case may be. If you need an example of that, what's Honey Boo Boo's mom? Miss June, Big June, whatever her name is. If you need an example of what I'm talking about, June, when they first caught that lady, she had some fungus or something growing through her toe. Later on, now she done lost all this weight or whatever. They got her out here fronting her like she's a fucking supermodel. You get what I'm saying? Her DNA strand don't say that. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of effort to make Big June or Mama June or whatever her name is look the way she looked. Respectfully. You understand what I'm saying? But if y'all remember Mama June and Honey Boo Boo first hit the farmways, they ain't had no money. They was dirt broke. They was pitching. The DNA strand don't fit the clothing. The DNA strand don't fit the articulation. The DNA strand and the livability from the DNA strand just don't fit a lot of things. So there's a lot of people out here that front and flake like they all that or whatever, but your DNA strand is one step away from walking across piss, getting off that elevator to get to your apartment. Makes sense now? I ain't trying to make fun of nobody, but let's just keep it in perspective. Don't forget where the fuck you came from. And that's what a lot of people like to do nowadays. They like to forget where they come from. There's some hoes out here that have reportedly been on shows for seasons and come walking away from strippers. You understand? We invigorating strippers and everybody else in society nowadays. It alleges that the organized sex events, and this is the other thing I wanted to point out. Notice how they didn't say the freak off. I call it the freak off here. Notice what they say. It alleges the organized sex events. One more again, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button. 221 plus people in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Listen one more again. It alleges that they organize sex events, not freak-offs, not freaky-deakies, not bang'em sessions, not penis. They hit it with the stay hard. That's what I'm calling it. Listen, y'all make sure y'all put that out there. The stay hard. They hit it with the stay hard and the D. You thought this was a DMX leak confessional? I don't know, but you ugly as fuck, though. I'm sorry. All right, I'm back, y'all. I don't like ugly people talking to me. They hit it with the fucking... the stay hard of the dick. It ain't funny, but they hit him with the stay hard on their penis. And I'm like, you calling this a sex event? They made these men take enemas that reportedly had these men in pain days after because of the enemas. Y'all calling this a sex party? No, this was the freak off, nigga. Puff wasn't doing none of this shit that they allege in anything we've read. This was the freak off of freak offs. Why is it not referred to as the freak off? Anybody in the back, y'all got any solutions? Why is this not referred to as a freak off? Let's continue. It alleges that the organized sex events in England, France, Italy, Morocco, St. Bart's, New York City, the Hamptons for Jeffrey Smith and others. So there was multiple people here. I wonder if he had any superstar friends. I wonder who was there. Anytime you write something like that about a dead man, you automatically out of here. I thought your mother was dead. Anyway, the men who attended the events were led to believe that it could lead to modeling opportunities and help their careers, or not complying with requests for certain acts during sex events could harm their careers. So that means if they went against the grain and said, no, I'm not going to do that, they could maybe probably never have anything else to do. You understand what I'm saying? Hunter, you got a confession, huh? I don't know, man. I don't need your confession. I don't know you. Was there evidence for trafficking? My boy, listen, y'all gotta open y'all ears, all right? Like y'all kind of slow. Let me run this back for you. I ain't calling you slow, but I'm saying y'all do not listen to detail. And one of the main things is, with a lot of urban people, you're always talking before you're listening. Now listen again. What we got right here? As well as 15 counts of prostitution led to da. Well, I don't know you. I don't know you, friend. I don't know you. I don't know nobody named Preston. So have a good evening. All right. If you come on my shit, tell me I know you, and you don't say where you know me from in the same sense, I block you. I don't know you. I don't recognize nobody named Preston. You remind me of DMX. You kind of look like him. Yeah, everybody done said that down here. Can I make a new protective? Long ago, I had seen Snoop in such organized video what? Yeah, long years ago, I've seen Snoop Dogg in such organized. You ain't seen nobody in nothing. That's another person too. I get on my fucking nerves. Let me tell you what happened lately here, right? I'm gonna keep on reading. Let me tell you what happened here. I've noticed this. Everybody on this page and people in the music business know me from the music business. All right. There ain't no mistake about it. There's pictures, videos, and everything else on this page of me that I've taken and other people have taken in multiple different stores. I have stores on my camera multiple times. You understand? So there's no disputing that. What I notice is there's a group of people, because there's so many people viewing me now, there's a group of people that have taken it upon themselves to start making up things. And they use it in the guise as if they're me. You're not me, motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? And one of the things I don't like is they're trying to implant themselves and say that they knew something or saw something. And they were part of this, they were part of that. And the truth is they wasn't. They had never been around. They're just making up things to get somebody to try to talk to them in order to hopefully get some fame or whatever they're looking for, whatever. So as you see this motherfucker right here, Steinley Staffabov. Right, that's a real believable name in the hip hop world, right? Years ago, I've seen Snoop Dogg in such organized video was a song, HHH. What the fuck does that even mean? Get your goofy ass the fuck up out of here, nigga, and find a friend. Listen, y'all can't be out here lying, man. There's too much lying going on nowadays. Motherfuckers is out here making up shit now. I heard a vlogger one time say, I might start lying to people telling them I've been in the music business. I was like, nigga, you do that shit, niggas will destroy you. You understand what I'm saying? Like literally destroy you. First of all, what is you around in this year? You understand what I'm saying? Who do you know from this year? Because the heads ain't changed. So if nobody can identify you, you understand what I'm saying? I like you, I'm Indian. I don't give a fuck what you are. Why would I give a fuck what you are? I was with a Muslim woman for 7 years. I don't give a fuck what you are. I got where I live at is mostly a lot of Bengali people around here. I get along with all of them. I don't give a fuck what you are. Listen, think of me as Family Guy. You get it fucked up with me, I talk about every fucking body. I talk about black people on here. I talk about Latinos on here. I talk about white people on here. I talk about everybody on here. I'm like Family Guy. Ain't nothing specific. Y'all stop with these identity politics. That shit, I ain't into that woke shit. I don't come from that. You understand all that? I'm Indian. I'm this. I don't give a fuck. We're talking about this cocksucker. Anyway, a federal indictment alleges Jeffries, along with Smith and his romantic partner Jameson, was described as a recruiter operated in an international sex trafficking and prostitution business from 2008 to 2015. It alleges that they organized sex events in England, France, Italy, Morocco, St. Bart's, New York City, Hamptons for Jeffrey Smith and others. They employ coercive, fraudulent, and deceptive tactics in connection with the recruitment, hiring, transportation, obtaining, maintaining, solicitation, and payment of men engaged in commercial sex, it says. The men who attended the events were led to believe that it could lead to modeling opportunities to help their careers, and not complying with requests for certain acts during the same sex events could harm their careers, the indictment alleges. The youngest alleged victims was 19, prosecutors said in a memo to the court Tuesday. Many of those victims, at least whom were, the youngest was 19 years old, were financially vulnerable and aspired to become models in the fashion industry, a notoriously cutthroat world, the memo says. Indeed, some of these men were recruited had previously worked on the Abercrombie and Fitch stores and modeled for Abercrombie. The men were required to sign a non-disclosure agreement. The men were required to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Pup, that might have been where you fucked up. You should have made all them old sentences. Anyway, I had to throw one in. The men were required to sign non-disclosure agreements and surrender their wallets and cell phones during the events. Puff, that might have been where you fucked up. I had to take 1 or 2 shots. Nigga, fuck, that's fair. You know what I'm saying? Jeffrey Smith and Jacobson also alleged to have recruited, hired, and paid an exclusive set of household staff members. So they paid the staff, they even had the staff members in on it. You understand what I'm saying? The household, the help. The help. Look here, Consuela. After you finish setting the dishes, make sure all the whores are returned properly to their locations. Yes, there will be Ubers and bus passes for everyone. And upon the departure, make sure that everyone has a pair of sneakers and canned goods. Sneakers and canned goods for everyone. This is a different type of organized crime. This type of organized crime is something your mother changed. Get the fuck out of my motherfucking my shit, man. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with grown ass niggas coming? You too old to be in here talking like that. This nigga got a gray beard in here talking dumb shit. This nigga literally got, let me see this nigga picture real quick. I'll be right back, y'all. I just want to see something. This nigga literally got a gray beard. He been on here for 10 years. Oh, he got material on his page. That's why he was looking for a come up. They always looking for a come up. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if anybody hit the cash app. If not, I'm gonna stop talking about this shit and get the fuck on. All right, ain't nobody hit the cash app. So I'm gonna give this about like, I don't look like nobody that you know. I'm gonna give this about like 10 more minutes and I'm gonna head up on out of here because I don't be doing long lives and don't be getting no cash apps. That's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? The staff members provided Jeffries and Smith and the men who attended the alcohol muscle relaxers as poppers. Uh-oh, there's some drugs involved. Why y'all ain't on this? Why ain't on this like the puff shit? Lubricant, Viagra, lubricant, poppers, lubricant. Muscle relaxers known as poppers, lubricant. Ain't that the same thing I was talking about with the baby oil shit? Why y'all ain't on this? Okay, see, that's what I told you. These niggas are slow, bro. You know what? At first, I thought it was something I was doing wrong, whatever. But listen, don't ever move to New York City. Niggas is gonna take advantage of you niggas. All right, that's what I'm saying. Anybody in New York know what I'm talking about? These niggas is slow. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. Do not come to New York City. Niggas is gonna take advantage of you. Do not come this way. They're gonna take advantage of you because these people are slow. Like I literally be giving these motherfuckers answers and shit, and they don't even want to listen. You said Pimp C spoke on something related to what? What did he speak on related to what? Related to Abercrombie and Fitch? What did he speak on recording? Okay, you better be quick about it. What did he speak on related to what? To what? Abercrombie and Fitch? Because that's what we talking about. Did he speak on something related to Abercrombie and Fitch? Huh? You a Mike Jeffries defender? I'm talking to you, Alex Pina. Answer the question. Come on, answer the question. You got 10 seconds to answer the question. Yes or no? You defending Mike Jeffries? You notice you don't want to answer the question, right? You tap sure. We don't fuck with niggas like you. Stop using Pimp C's name. You can't. Pimp C was real. He would have answered the question. Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries. See, it's kind of funny. People don't even know what I'm talking about. But if I mention Puff, this one about to get mad. If I mention Puff, they all in. But when I mention this, they don't know nothing about it. Isn't that funny? I'm gonna end this off real quick because, like I said, I ain't sitting here for no 2 hours. Don't get one donation, but everybody writing all these comments and shit like that. Y'all go donate to your favorite bloggers so they can talk some more shit about Puff. I already see where the people at. It's the people that's phony. It's not even the bloggers' fault. It's the people that's phony. The staff members provided Jeffrey Smith and the men who attended the alcohol muscle relaxers as poppers. Y'all still ain't paying attention. Lubricant, Viagra, condoms, among other items, the indictment says. Yes, they were indicted. Somebody asked me that silly ass question earlier. Were they indicted? I'm trying to tell you, people of color have a different decedence than they do. People have a different decedence than they do for black and Latin criminals than they do for white criminals. I noticed that. I'm talking about minorities. The trio employed a full-service security company. They even hired a security company for the fuckery that goes on to administer non-disclosure agreements, conduct background checks, and monitor if necessary, intimidate victims. Oh, I thought y'all said the pup was intimidating people. These motherfuckers were too. You understand what I'm saying? No, but your mother does. You understand what I'm saying? And one more time, to that fat little portly dude that lives with his uncle. You understand what I'm saying? To that little fat, little portly dude that lives with his uncle, homie, I'm gonna tell you one time. You keep running around telling people I'm on drugs. You keep running around making up lies about me and all that shit or whatever, because I don't make up lies about you. Fuck all that coming to see you shit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sue your ass. And I know you ain't got shit because you live with your uncle. So what you need to do is fall the fuck back. And for any of his subscribers that come on my page, the same goes for you. We're going to run your email address. We're going to find out your name. We're going to find out where you live at, and you're going to get served. You understand what I'm saying? So don't come in my chat room asking dumbass questions that obviously ain't the fucking truth, projected by a motherfucker that y'all over here battling for that lives in his uncle's basement at 36 years old. How can y'all ain't asking that motherfucker that? The fuck out of here. Now, one more time, fat boy. You hating ass fat nigga. This nigga look pathetic if you see this motherfucker. If I would have seen that motherfucker when he was born and I was his parent, I would have been like, look, y'all can keep this motherfucking monstrosity, you ugly bitch. Day after day, this hating ass nigga over here got his peoples over here and all kinds of other shit. Why? Because you ugly motherfucker? Fuck you, nigga. Stay out my chat room. Why you always over here? Why you always over here, pork chop? Why you got your people over here? Nigga, listen, I don't even talk to you no more. I make videos about you or nothing. So at this point, you either hating, you got a crush on niggas, or nigga, you got something really to say. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you got something really to say, come say it to me in person. Hop on a plane, me and you can meet up, and you can say whatever the fuck you got to say in person. If you're not going to do that, all this shit you doing with bringing people over to my page, talking about whatever, nigga, that's a motherfucking bona fide hater bitch right there. Cause I ain't never in my life, when none of these blogs on beef, I don't even tell motherfucking Storm and Roll peoples don't go over there and check Storm. I say what Storm they talked about when it come to the king. I don't ever tell people don't go visit his channel, don't fuck with his channel. I don't ever tell people don't go there. Have y'all ever heard, even when this motherfucker be over here, y'all ever heard me go over to his channel and say don't donate to his channel? This is what these niggas do. So I'm like, what type of black people are you if you're going around and you're telling black people don't donate to a certain other black? And there's a whole bunch of this shit going on. You go over there to that conscious community, it's even worse. That's why I stopped fucking with them too. So if you're not gonna donate, if you're not gonna support, that's fine. But nigga, when you start out whole campaigns like a bitch while you sit in your uncle's fucking house, and the only reason you're trying to pick a fight so somebody will talk about your pathetic ass podcast that you sit in your fucking bedroom or you sit in your fucking kitchen and conduct, you're never outside any fucking where. You ever notice that? He's never outside any fucking where whatsoever. Ever. You never find this fat motherfucker outside. He's always sitting in his motherfucking bedroom, sitting in his uncle's house, trying to contrive some beef with somebody. Nigga, I'm not interested in what you got going on over there. That shit is Mickey Mouse shit to me. You understand what I'm saying? You not in the spots, you not in the locations, and them goofy motherfuckers that want to hold on behalf of you, want to donate to you, all that shit or whatever. If the only thing you can provide for them is lies to your crowd, then you already know automatically that motherfucker, you shouldn't be over there donating to that bitch ass nigga. For real, I'm tired of that nigga talking about. What's your mama yapping about? Your mama still yapping about this dick in the back of her throat? How about that, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, nigga, it's some yapping shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause that shit get on my nerves right there, bro. Every time I go live, this nigga got his people over here. I'm like, nigga, what's wrong with you? You got like you like, are you that gay that you got that much of a crush on a nigga? You over here every time I go live, but I don't watch this nigga. I don't care what he's got going on. I'm talking about he's actually part of the LBGT community. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yo, mama seemed gay. That's him again. Like, this nigga listen. Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to keep going on with the story. If you a nigga that's on somebody's podcast every day now, because I'm tired of it, and I'm going to start turning up on this nigga shit, when nigga, you ain't going to have a page. You better pay attention to what I'm saying. Because nigga, what's about to happen is something different. What I'm about to do, I'm about to start reporting your ass to YouTube. I'm not talking about hit report this here. No, I'm talking about a full-fledged letter to this nigga. Because he don't just do it with me. He do it with other people. This is a coward nigga. Don't sit up here and try to act like you a keyboard gangster nigga when you pussy in real life. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't no beef. Because I'm not beefing with this pussy ass nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this dude's a pussy to me. You understand what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with him being gay. It's the point that this nigga, and the reason I said what I said was because he acts like he's got a crush on somebody. Nigga, I don't talk about you. You're not relevant to me. Only part that's relevant, I don't make up things about him. I don't talk about anything that's going on with him or anything else. You understand what I'm saying? I don't even fixate myself on talking about this man because he's boring to me. But what I can't take out of consideration is the fact day after day after day after day after day, this nigga got his peoples over here talking about all kinds of corny shit. And I know it's coming from him because I got 3 of his fucking like he does these little paywalls. I got 3 of them where the nigga had a whole fucking tone about me. And I'm like, yo, nigga, you don't even know me. This man has never been around me. He don't know nobody to know me in real person. Yet and still, you sitting around nigga talking about niggas do crack. He told another motherfucking group of people I do fucking what do you call that shit? What's that shit called? Fentanyl. Told niggas is doing fentanyl, whatever. Mind you, check this out. There's a whole diatribe about this motherfucker, whatever. There he is again. See what I'm saying? This nigga is old. Like, this nigga has multiple profiles. This is a sociopath. And he thinks it's funny. Nigga, this is not funny, nigga. I'm dead serious. I'm putting my hands on you. That ain't enough for you. What you need done to you is you need to be dragged through a courtroom 1 or 2 times. Then you understand real quick what it's really about. Nigga, I'm gonna put you in a position where your mama and them paying me. You understand what I'm saying? Where your mother paying me. So fall back, homie. I'm not interested in you. I'm not interested in nobody you fuck with. I don't give a fuck about that fucking Mickey Mouse shit you do over there. It's not even real journalism. Regurgitation of what you read on social media is not motherfucking media. Not being in person is not real media. That shit is just cornball shit. So I'm getting tired of these niggas that be on here and they be using women. Your mother's tripping out, you bitch ass nigga. They be getting women and shit like that to come over here and harass people, making fake profiles or whatever. There'd be one thing if I was doing, and then like these goofy people that they have nowadays, they don't even they so goofy and so relaxed in that whole what do you call it? That whole woke like mentality. That woke mentality says to people, just be a bitch no matter how you can do it. You understand what I'm saying? So most of the people that's in that woke mentality, you gotta understand they're bitches in any other world. You understand? So basically all the bitch motherfuckers that you knew in middle school and high school and summer college, these bitch motherfuckers got together and they made what's now called what's the name? It's not nobody being against me. I don't give a fuck about them being against me. I don't need any people as friends. You understand what I'm saying? Like I have friends, real life friends. I don't need niggas to be my friend. That nigga needs people to be his friend. He's ugly. That's why he goes out of his way to do what he does. He has nothing else to fight with. You're not better looking than me. Nobody's going to pay more attention to you than me. For some reason or another, you try to act like you tough and you're not tough, dog. Listen, me and you're not going to win. You're not going to win. Because the only thing I'm going to do, like I said, at this point, I'm going to take everything, the little bit that you got from you. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be a point where I'm going to sue your parents too. You understand what I'm saying? For having you. So, homie, listen to me. Go on about your fucking business and stop sending your mama got a gap in her pussy. Stop sending soldiers over here over to my page. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with you? You retarded or what? Like, what type of nigga to wait for a nigga? Listen, this is how sick and a sociopath this mentally ill motherfucker is. He knew a year out ago I ain't like him. Do you know that this motherfucker sat around pork chop and subscribed to my page? And I showed the shit. I'm like, nigga, why are you subscribing to my page? You know I don't like you. I don't like none of them bitches over there with you. I don't care for your type of enjoyment. And in fact, it's so sick because the reason I know this, man, look at your mama's gap. You see what I'm saying? These are people from his page. That shit is crazy, nigga. I don't care about none of that shit you saying. All that nigga talk that y'all do. Listen, let me just put it here and I'm going to go back to the story. Pay attention to the people that are in here. Just pay attention. Pay attention to the shit they writing. And then you will understand very quickly that I'm sitting here talking about Mike Jeffries, but they trying to deflate from the conversation and let's go back to talking about fucking Diddy. Pay attention. They want me to stop talking about Mike Jeffries and they want me to go back to talking about Diddy. Pay attention. They want me to stop talking about Mike Jeffries and this Abercrombie and Fitch motherfucker who was drugging boys, and they want me to go back talking about Diddy. No, you're a Mike Jeffries supporter. You're a Mike Jeffries supporter. Why would anybody want to come in here and start talking about Diddy parties when we talking about Mike Jeffries? You understand that? Pay attention, y'all. These niggas hate niggas. I've been saying it for 3 years now, and now y'all starting to get it. These niggas hate niggas. What type of nigga come in and interrupt the conversation when we talking about a white man that did the same thing as Diddy did, or you claim he did? What type of niggas come in and do that with small ass little fucking joke? Well, you got a gap, a key. These is men. Men. This is why I don't mince and mingle with a lot of these motherfuckers because they childish. So, like, dog, if you coming in here, you interrupting that conversation, telling niggas in high paywalls don't donate to people, that's a coon. And I don't know why y'all don't take these people as the coons that they are. Niggas in here, niggas is literally in here mad because I'm talking about this white man, and these is niggas. You better stop talking about that good white man like that. He ain't do nothing to nobody. tap dancing ass motherfuckers. Y'all need to start calling them niggas out. The staff members provided cut. Let me get the fuck up off here in a second. So I'm gonna finish this real quick and I'm gonna get the fuck up off here. Cause this is why I don't do these lives no more and all that stuff or whatever. Cause I cannot deal with these silly ass, childish ass, immature. That nigga 36 years old. He 4 years off of being 40. Them bitches over there to be congregating on his page, them hoes be 50, 60 fucking years old. 50, 60 fucking years old. Do you think anything that you old bitches got to say about me with your unaccomplished asses? Most of y'all bitches ain't never been no more in life than a fucking nurse. Let me continue. The three are employed a full-service security contractor to administer non-disclosure agreements, conduct background checks, and monitor if they're necessary. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, y'all. This shit timed out because I was sitting there doing all that shit. I have niggas up in here that don't do no work, just sit in their bedroom all day and got motherfuckers sitting up there on behalf of them talking shit. Like, get the fuck, you lazy motherfucker. Get your fat ass up and go do something. The three are employed. Get your fat ass up and do something besides sit in your uncle's house and talk about every fucking body. How about that? Have we normalized that, getting off your fat ass and actually going to do some work? That's why they normalize that shit so much. You can sit in your bedroom or sit in your kitchen and talk shit about people. Black people and Latin people have normalized that as the go-to. That format right there is a format that fucking media used fucking 15 years ago. So maybe you need to step the fuck up, go out somewhere and get to see something instead of sitting there. Oh, this is a great show. He's sitting in his what's the name again? You know what I'm saying? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, you fat fuck. Nigga what do you say about somebody that has over hundreds of fake profiles, and even after you block those fake profiles, he keeps coming back? That's a sociopath. So what y'all doing is y'all embracing and hugging. Mentally ill people hang along, so it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. Mentally ill people usually hang with each other. On occasions, we witnessed threatening. The three are employed a full service. I just find that weird. Niggas is out here every day. You know what I'm saying? That's a new one right there. Let me just finish this and I'm gonna get a ball here because I'm gonna say something and I'm gonna fuck this dude. The black community has made the decision. The black community is holding up Mike Jeffries. And they said, Mike Jeffries, we shouldn't pay attention to him. Let me just finish this off real quick, because I'm done with these people. The black community has said that we don't want to condemn Mike Jeffries. Okay, that's what I'm gonna change the title to. We want to stay with Puff. That's what the black community has said. So that's what we're gonna do. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna. Are you gonna do more lives? Nah, I'm gonna say fuck everybody. I'm not doing more lives. Fuck doing more lives. I tried to have this conversation. Niggas didn't want to have this conversation. Some nigga just asked me for $10 named Franklin Morrison. It's like it's like why even talk to these people anymore? They're like they're dumb. Most of them are slow as fuck. Most of them ain't educated. Your mama stay yapping. And any nigga that sit up here and say that shit, the yapping shit, they're taking a cue because they're like parrots. Most of these people that talk online, they're like parrots. White folks used to say that shit back in the slave days. You yapping. What that nigga yapping about? So when you hear somebody say that, make sure you hear the other part in your ear. What that nigga yapping about? But what I'm not gonna do is, and what I'm gonna start doing, homie, all that energy you putting in on my page or whatever the case is, you understand what I'm saying? All that energy you putting on my page about to come to your page. All right, that's what we gonna do. We gonna toss it. We gonna toss it up like that. All that energy you put on my page and sending people to my page, we about to turn up on you. You understand what I'm saying? And we're going to see if we can get you the fuck up out of here. Because one of the things I don't do is I don't go around harassing people. I don't send my followers to go harass people. I don't fuck with people. I don't talk about people outside the dynamic of what I got to do. Anytime you ever heard me talk about any of these fucking podcasters, I never talk about anything except for the problem that I have with them. I don't say that this person has a habit. I don't say that this person does this. This nigga we're talking about right now, they literally have said that this motherfucker is a fucking pedophile. All right. This nigga literally has a video of him talking about jacking off. All right. And the nigga did not put that shit out there or whatever. And niggas tried to get me to join into it. And I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. And I said, yo, I ain't gonna join in that on pork chop because I don't want to put that on him. Now, I don't give a fuck. Fuck that nigga. Nigga, every time I'm going live, you got people over here. What's wrong with you, you sociopathic motherfucker? You understand what I'm saying? That sounds like somebody in a matter of time, you're going to flip out. Listen, it wouldn't surprise me if you find that this motherfucker murdered his uncle or something that he lived in the house there with. I'm trying to tell you, it wouldn't surprise me for a bit because that's a sociopath. That's somebody that sits on one end and he'll sit on camera and act like he's all normal and shit. But behind closed scene, this motherfucker is nuttier than squirrel shit. You understand what I'm saying? Nigga, send your mama $10 so she can wipe her ass, dirty bitch. Anyway, my point is, you understand what I'm saying? I don't need you to send me a goddamn dime. Keep all your money. I don't want no nigga pennies. I said that once, I say again, you keep your nigga pennies. Isn't about money. It's about a nigga sending people over to my page every fucking day that I don't know. And it's getting tiring. It's like, nigga, like, what's wrong with y'all motherfuckers? Y'all motherfuckers just mentally ill or what? Mentally ill people do shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? Mentally ill people do shit like that. And I'm starting to believe, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to really believe that some of these people, they so mentally, I'm trying to think like most of the people that are on YouTube nowadays really are mentally ill motherfuckers. This motherfucker wrote, yes, we are mentally ill. I thank you. Who writes some shit like that? Look right there at the person Mills. Look what they wrote. Yes, we are mentally ill. Thank you. Who writes shit like that? So this is the people you're talking to. And most of these people don't have a dime in their fucking pocket, but are sitting there. Listen, when I go to these locations and shit, who the fuck you think is paying for it? Y'all? You think y'all paying for it? I'm paying for it. The fuck out of here. Look, they wrote 2 times because another motherfucker writing oil up. These are weirdo motherfuckers. And these are all people from this man. So if he hang with people talking shit like this, what do you think fuck is wrong with him? This nigga needs to be locked away in a mental hospital. I'm not your unk, bitch. Stephanie whack job. I'm letting y'all all seeing that. You can't even write hell right. Hell ain't even spelled with an apostrophe. Yeah, because who the hell are you to call someone mentally ill? I'm the one that calls somebody mentally ill, motherfucker, because I'm not in everybody's chat room fucking with people. I'm the one that calls somebody mentally ill because I'm not behind paywalls having whole conversations about men I don't know that live on a whole totally different coast from me. I'm the one that's calling out mentally ill when a motherfucker is here day after day after day talking shit about people you don't know. Yes, that's mentally ill. And you just as mentally ill as these motherfuckers. And I do believe a great bulk of majority of people in the urban space are mentally fucking ill, and a high majority in the white space as well. They just sitting up here taking up. They want to take up a Mike Jeffries. About let's just go back to talking about Diddy. Man, I'm out of here, man. I don't fuck with these sucker ass niggas, man.